Hey, gals and guys, this is Michael Ferrari of Cinema to Meep. Welcome to the 67th episode of the podcast. Here we are, guys. We're in the last stretch of the 1991 podcast. Welcome back, Jeffrey Berg.
Thank you.
Thank you
I'm
so
excited to be here.
thank you so much for sticking it out all the way to the final months, the last 2 months of 1991.
It was quite a journey, I have to say. I feel very accomplished. Like I did something great this year.
It does feel like the one thing I've accomplished this year
Is watch
is
a bunch of 1991 movies.
exactly. It's like I have like piles of movies that I could watch that I've been buying during the pandemic. I went buying crazy, I guess, because to build up my video store. And so I have like all these movies I could watch, but no, I'm watching 1991 movies because
You're watching Cool as Ice once
yeah,
again.
a lot of times too, not just once. But you guys know that already. So yeah, we're in November and December, and we're recording this sort of almost mid-December, December 10th, 2021. So we're kind of right there at the 30th anniversary of these 2 months. And so we just wanted to get it out to you by the end of this month. So before the craziness of the holidays, it's coming really soon, and I'm scared.
Exactly.
Totally scared.
Mhm.
So before we get to that point and the holiday season of movies, let's talk about what we've been watching recently that aren't 1991 movies. What do you have in your list there?
I watched West Side Story last night, the Steven Spielberg version,
Oh
and
wow,
it
tell us about it.
I thought it was pretty good. Um
I sense some hesitation.
no.
Hesitation.
No, I did really like it. It takes it some adjusting if you love the 1961 version.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've just seen it so many times, and but the new cast is really exciting,
Okay.
I think. Like especially Anita, Ariana DeBose, she's great. Rita Moreno is cast in like the shopkeeper role, and I think she
Mm-hmm.
does a really good job. Um, and Steven Spielberg kind of makes it his own.
Okay.
Um, it's very New Yorky, though I think they filmed a lot of it in Jersey, um, and they use a lot of digital effects. But yeah, I
Course.
mean, I love the music so much that like I'm down. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm. Right.
it's really hard to mess it up, like because the score is just incredible. And
Mm-hmm.
once you have all those songs and the dancing, it's a good time. I don't know if it's doing quite well yet in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I think the older demographic is, they're not turning out for movies right now. So
Yeah. No.
who
That's
knows who knows what's going to happen, but
right.
I I think it seems like it's hitting a chord with critics and stuff. So
That's
it's
cool.
kind yeah, it's kind of an exciting thing to have a really strong musical out there right now.
I mean, I do want to see it. I'm a big fan of the 1961 film.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not particularly in a rush to see it. I will go see it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to see it in a theater because it's a theater movie. I just gotta, I
Yeah.
guess, gotta get myself in the mood. Maybe like a weeknight when the movie when the theaters are kind of more empty. I'll go see it
Yeah.
and then get swept up in it.
That sounds nice. Yeah.
That might be a good idea. I do want to see that. So I'll add it to my, I'll put it, yeah, I'll put it higher on my list because you're recommending it. So
Oh, I hope I don't let you down.
don't let me down.
I feel like if you like the music and you like the songs, you're gonna be okay. You know
Yeah,
what I
I mean,
mean?
I know those songs really well. I was actually in school, I was in a production of West Side Story.
Oh, who did you play?
Oh God, I was one of the, I was, I put,
Sharks or the Jets?
I was Chino.
Oh,
Was
that's
it
a good
Chino?
role.
Chino, yes, Chino. It's been a while. I'm like trying to remember now. Like,
Oh, and I like Chino in this version of the movie, actually. He's a good character.
it's so I remember the music really well, and like I remember having to learn the songs and the dance moves, and this is like this is like New York City public school system production, like
That's
nothing's
great.
nothing special, like but it was but I had fun. I remember having fun doing it. So
Hmm. I
um,
played trumpet in the pit orchestra for my high school production of West Side Story. So like all the trumpet parts in the musical were like coming back to me.
like sense memory and so like hearing it.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
So, did you see Licorice Pizza yet?
No, I haven't seen it. Debating when to see it, like now or
Right.
later in the month. I have to go into, I guess, Manhattan or Brooklyn to see it. So that's where it's playing right now.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw it at Village East, which isn't
oh,
like a theater I usually go to, but
I mean,
I,
I love the Village East, and it's playing in
yeah,
I think it's playing in 70 millimeter there, right?
yeah, I
Wow.
saw it like the day after Thanksgiving, I think, or Thanksgiving Day. So it's like
Okay.
it was like a good way to spend Thanksgiving, whatever day it
Mm-hmm.
was. But yeah, I was into it. I really love the lead actress,
Mm-hmm.
Alina Haim. She was kind of my favorite part of the whole thing. So
Cool.
yeah.
I need to see. I want to see it. I his last movie. I was sort of, I liked it, but I was not like in love with it. I
Was
know
it
a lot of
Phantom
people.
Thread?
Yeah, I know a lot of people love
Okay.
it. I just like maybe I
Mm,
need to give that movie another viewing because I
mm,
think up until that point, I think I've watched a lot of his movies like multiple times. So,
mm.
but I'm really like into the vibe of this one, but and of course
Yeah.
it's time period. So maybe that's what's really drawing me in.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Phantom of the Mall.
So you went from licorice pizza to Phantom of the Mall. Tell us what your experience was with Phantom of the
Uh,
Mall. Eric's Revenge.
well, I did notice it is the same mall, correct, as Chopping Mall. It
Yep.
looked very similar.
Chopping Mall, Commando, all those mall movies.
Oh, that's so great. I mean, a mall movie can really, it doesn't have to do very much. Like I can just look at the stores in the background and be entertained.
I
So
agree.
I was fine, with
Hmm.
everything about the movie.
Yeah,
But I heard there's an Amanda Reyes commentary track, which I will definitely have to seek out because
there is. Yeah.
I love her commentary. So
Yeah, I mean, I rewatched. I got the new Blu-ray, the big box set Blu-ray. It's kind of crazy, like how all they went all out in this thing.
that's
I talked about
amazing.
it. I talked about it in the Patreon Blu-ray episode. And I just, yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. But I watched the movie with my wife, and it's
Oh,
her first time seeing it. It was a mall movie, so she was down.
yes.
And it's a pretty silly movie.
Hmm.
It's not as great as some of the other mall horror movies or mall movies, but it's like you said, you're in the mall. It's like you're in the mall for like 90 minutes. It's all about mall culture and you
Hmm.
see all the stores, and it's all real stores. The time it was fun watching with my wife because she was very much, she grew up in California with those malls,
Oh,
so she could tell.
yeah.
She like, I'm like, what store is this? Tell me what store is this? And she knew what the store is based on, like the clothing inside of it, and like just like
Oh, I love that.
so I was like kind of watching it like through her eyes, which was really fun. And again, silly movie, but really entertaining and kind of surprising in some aspects because I don't know, I think maybe the leads are kind of boring. but then you
Mhm.
have like other characters which are making it more fun.
Morgan Fairchild,
Morgan
right?
Fairchild, and like like certain people are going to turn out to be bad, and
Yeah.
it kind of it follows those beats. Like you know what's going to happen, but you when it gets to that point, you still enjoy it anyway. Pauly Shore is actually kind of the hero of the movie,
I
which is
liked
kind
him in the
of
movie.
which is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Even though there was a conventional like final guy, whatever type, and who was actually Rob Estes, who was in Melrose Place, who was in another mall movie, Terror at the Mall. So yeah, it's a fun movie. I definitely enjoyed it. I like seeing it on Blu-ray and the transfer and all the extras, and hearing Amanda talk about it was fun. So a worthy package. I'm glad you watched it.
What have you been seeing?
So I just I stayed up late last night and I watched the live in front of a studio audience thing that
Oh
just
yeah.
aired because they recreated Facts of Life and Different Strokes, two of
Mhm.
my staple childhood TV shows. And I watched all the episodes of those shows, like every one.
Yeah.
So it was really fun seeing it recreated. I really wanted to see it because I heard that a couple of the real cast members are going to be on it. So it was like
Mhm.
Mindy Cohn and Elisa Welchel and Kim Fields
Oh,
for
oh,
Facts of
they all came
Life.
back. They all came back.
They all came back for those three,
Oh,
just
nice.
to like introduce it, and then they
Mhm.
had like bigger, like the big actors playing the roles. And
Mhm.
the Facts of Life one was fun, but it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Catherine
Mhm.
Hahn as Joe was really hilarious, but she was really underused. Um, and what's Anne Dowd, right?
I love Ann
Yeah,
Dowd.
she's
She's in
great.
it.
Her playing Mrs. Garrett in both episodes
What?
was pretty amazing.
That sounds fantastic.
There are a couple of actors who show up, like who kind of steal their scenes,
Mhm.
and then what's his name? Jon Stewart has a big role in it, and I don't know. I wasn't that. I think I felt
Mm.
like the Jon Stewart and Jennifer Aniston characters, like
Mhm.
Lisa Jennifer Aniston's playing Lisa Welch. I don't know. Her comic timing is bad,
Mhm.
which is like I don't know
Mhm.
how she made a fortune like doing a sitcom, but
Mhm.
she just did not do a good job in my eyes.
Mhm.
So I wasn't as into that subplot of her and Jon Stewart. I just felt like it was kind of bringing the whole thing down. But everyone else was like good.
Mhm.
Um, and then I feel like I'm leaving someone out. Oh, Alison Tolman played the
Oh,
Mindy Cohn's
okay.
character, so she was good
Yeah.
too. And then it went to Different Strokes, and you had John Lithgow playing Mr. Drummond,
Mm.
and Kevin Hart playing Arnold, and Damon Wayans playing Willis, and of course Ann Dowd playing again Mrs. Garrett. That was actually the better of the episodes, as it turned out.
Mhm.
Something about like the dynamic of those characters and how like it had heart, and it was just a fun and kind of heartwarming episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought Kevin Hart did a really good Arnold. So
That sounds really. I like how they chose kind of some unusual actors for these parts.
mm-hmm.
Not,
Right,
I mean, I thought it. I saw Jennifer Aniston getting a lot of the attention, but
right.
I didn't realize some of these cool character actors were in it too.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people in it. Just I know everyone hears Jennifer Aniston and they run, and they want to know, but I
Mm-hmm.
just thought she was not very good. But there are a lot of other good people in it, and yeah, it's fun to see Todd Bridges too. He showed up, and Boys to
Mm-hmm.
Men,
Oh, nice. They
1991.
had a very good 91
They had a
voice
very
to
good
them.
91. Besides that, oh yeah, the new Kindred Blu-ray came out. I
Mm.
jumped into that and all the extra features, and it's a lot of good stuff from Synapse, a 3 disc set from Synapse. This is a
Wow.
long in gestation release from them. They've been working on it for a while, and it looks really good. Like Kindred has never looked better. It's got a CD, it's got a DVD, it's got a Blu-ray,
Oh,
a lot of
nice.
features.
Yeah.
It's really nice package from Synapse. It's like one of their steel tin things, and so it's
Mm.
kind of expensive. I paid a lot more for the
Mm-hmm.
Kindred. I'm sure one day they'll do like a standard release. But I just feel like had newfound appreciation for that 80s monster movie. It was it was definitely a video store staple in the late 80s. Like seeing, you'd
That
always see
box.
the Kindred box, and
Yeah.
yeah, I remember when it was a brand new release, a Vestron video new release, and that was always exciting. So I feel like this package kind of got me excited about the Kindred again, which is nice.
That is exciting. Yeah.
I saw a new movie called Shiva Baby,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
which I believe you've seen. It
Mm-hmm.
takes me a while to watch some of these new movies, so I know these movies might have been out for the last year or whatever. But I finally caught up with Shiva Baby. It's a Brooklyn set movie about a Jewish young woman who kind of has a sugar daddy, and kind of it traces her day as she has to go to a shiva.
Mm-hmm.
And it's yeah, it's very tense. It's a very tense movie. It's funny. It's very darkly funny. I was really into it. I thought it was really well done. You really get into her mind frame, and you
Mm-hmm.
really feel the tension of her parents and the overbearing Jewish parents,
Mm-hmm.
and just that it really gets to the heart of like what someone who's in their young in that stage of their life where you have to make bigger decisions about what you're going to do with your life, and like the pressure that's put on you to get to that next step. It really
Mm-hmm.
gets into that mindset, and like that, and this is a very flawed character, makes some pretty bad decisions, and I like that it's about that, and I thought it was really well done, and the tension and the music really heightens things, and I just thought it was a really accurate portrayal of that kind of point of your life, and but also a very heightened version too with the tension. So I just really thought it was really well done, and a filmmaker I'll definitely be keeping tabs on, because I feel like she will make, given the opportunity, she can make some great things. So we'll see.
I agree.
On television, more things on TV. I've been watching new things on television, guys. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yellow Jackets on Showtime, which
Is it
is
about killer bees?
no,
No.
it's
Uh,
about a girls soccer team
mm-hmm.
who kind of they're on a plane to go to I think a meet or game in Seattle, and they crash, and then some bad things start happening. But the
Mm-hmm.
movie's framed in a way where it's about them older,
Mm-hmm.
like 20 years later or whatever it is, and then it goes back and forth in time to show you the events of actually what went down as the episodes go on. Juliette Lewis is in it, and Melanie Linsky, to
Mm-hmm.
give you a taste of like some of the good acting that's going on in the show.
That sounds good.
This is a kind of a gem of a show so far that I've
Mm.
watched, and I'm really intrigued by it. I want to know more, so I'm going to keep going back for this one.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's definitely recommended. I've also been watching the new Dexter season on Showtime, and it's okay. It's like serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they're trying to do with this series is to course correct it a bit, because I think a lot of fans were unhappy where it ended, back in I guess 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever it was now, that when the show ended. This one kind of tries to make up for it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's set in New York, like upstate New York. Dexter is kind of living another life, and then it's like about the complications that arise when someone from his past enters his life, and then some murdering starts happening. It's it's not, it lacks like I don't know, the drive of the show, like the initial drive of the show, which was like Dexter usually killed like somebody like one person per episode. Like
Right.
it doesn't have that. It's kind of, this is more of a story arc, like but it's still intriguing. I'm still kind of wondering where it's going, but it's not quite, top level like when the show was really good. I feel like for me that show was only good in its first 4 seasons and then it lost me.
Mm-hmm.
I guess one kind of feels like it's kind of like somewhere hovering around there, or maybe but it's not quite there yet, and we'll see as it goes on if it picks up. But it has Clancy Brown in it, and I like Clancy Brown a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finished Chucky.
Oh yeah, and you like Chucky, right?
I love
The show.
Chucky. I love
Yeah,
Chucky the
I like
character.
Chucky. Yeah.
Have you watched the show at all? I can't remember if we talked about that or not.
I have not, but I do like a lot of the Chucky movies, like even some of the later ones. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking I might like the show.
So yeah, the show is basically a continuation of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
It incorporates new characters as well as old characters from several of the movies, including the first movie. So um, it's fun where it goes. It gets
Mm-hmm.
pretty crazy. It's set in Hackensack, New Jersey, but in this like
Um,
idealized version of Hackensack, New Jersey, where everyone's like rich. So it's like a study of like crazy rich suburban New Jersey, and then like throwing
okay.
Chucky in the middle of it and seeing what happens, right? It's very garish and over the top sometimes, but it's fun, well done, and I enjoyed it, and it was greenlit for season 2, so I'm excited to see what
Oh,
happens in
nice.
season 2.
Yeah.
I definitely had a lot of fun with it, so
Does Emily Valentine come back?
she does.
Oh, I'm there for that.
So like I feel like the first 4 episodes kind of like are primarily focused on the like new cast, and then it kind of eases
Mm-hmm.
you into like characters from the later movies, and
Mm-hmm.
then some of the characters from the earlier movies like Emily Valentine and Andy will show up, and then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then it goes to some pretty wacky places at the end. It's fun, so I recommend it. And then so sorry taking so long. I'll skip a couple. Oh yes, the new Ghostbusters. Went to see that.
Oh, what did
Family.
you think of that?
That was good. I liked it.
Oh, good.
I know
Okay.
it's getting like mixed reviews. I think
Mm,
fans of the first 2 movies are kind of mixed on it. I think some are complaining that it's too much of a homage to like the original films, like there's too many callbacks. See,
mm-hmm.
with me, like I grew up in the Ghostbusters era, and those were like movies that were kind of made, for my generation, and then the generation before it. Um, but I don't know. I never really had a strong bond with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Something about the humor didn't really appeal to me as much. I didn't really get into like say Bill Murray's humor until like I feel like it really crystallized for me like What About Bob and Groundhog Day. So that was like in the 90s. So in the 80s, I wasn't like a big Bill Murray fan like a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
were. And so I don't know, something about the humor, like Dan Aykroyd, I never really got either. Didn't really do it for me. I like Sigourney Weaver, of course, but I don't know. I just never
Yeah.
really got that into those 2 movies. I like them more now, but I still, they're still not like movies that are like really my big fantasy
Mm-hmm.
movies of the 80s. Um, but I really enjoyed the new one,
Oh,
which
good.
again like does a thing of where it's introduces like new characters and then incorporates like the older characters, like kind of what Chucky does,
Mm-hmm.
and but more so focus on the new characters in this one, but they have deep ties to the original films, and it's it's a tribute actually to Harold Ramis.
Mhm.
I thought it was really well done. I got caught up in it. My kids loved it, so
Oh, that's
what
nice.
more do you want?
I do like Jason Reitman. I know he gets a lot of like shade, but I
Young
like a lot of his movies. Like I love Young Adult. Um,
Adult is one of the best movies of the last
I know it's so
like 10,
good.
15 years. So yeah.
Um, and I think I listened to the movies that made me. I think he did an interview on there because he
Mhm.
recommended that podcast to me, and
Right.
I think he was talking about Ghostbusters. And I love listening to his interviews. I think he's a very sincere like
Mhm.
person and director, and he I feel like he takes care of the movies he directs, if that makes any sense at all.
Mhm. I agree. I think he does. I think he did a good job here as trying to do something with the series, taking it another direction, but also be a tribute. And it's a
Hmm.
juggling act. I mean, he had a lot to juggle here, but I think he did
Hmm.
a really good job. So
Hmm.
I think that movie could have been. I mean, this is no shade to the 2016 female-led Ghostbusters, but that one was pretty forgettable. I mean, I feel like this one, I definitely will remember. So,
Hmm.
um, Last Night in Soho. Did we talk about this one before?
I think I said I had watched it last time, maybe
Okay,
at
yeah,
the
I hadn't watched it
podcast.
yet, so I finally watched it between the last podcast, this one, and I liked
Hmm.
it. I liked it. I wasn't kind of,
Yeah.
I didn't wasn't like blown away by it. I kind of was hoping to be. I thought the music is
Mm.
like spectacular and really well done, and I mean,
Excellent soundtrack.
Edgar Wright is so
Excellent.
good at that.
Hmm.
There were just some aspects of it I felt a little bit on the nose and
Yep.
expected, and a little bit going through the motions to get to those points. I just wanted to be a little more surprised, maybe, but I
Mm.
think I think a movie maybe I'll appreciate another on second viewing. So when it
Mm.
comes out on Blu-ray, I'll maybe give it a look, and I feel like maybe it'll age better. I think that some of his movies have done that, like what's the one? Scott
Okay.
Pilgrim versus the
Oh
World.
yeah.
That one I
Hmm.
think ages really well and gets better and better in each viewing. So maybe this
Hmm.
will be one of those. But I definitely, there's some things about it I think are pretty amazing. So
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a little like overheated, but
mhm.
I enjoyed it too. Like I'm just like grateful for like any new movie that's like
Yeah,
that's like a little bit outside of the box, even if
right,
it's, not a perfect film. It's like
right, and it has
I'm
a
not
strong point of view, and that's
right.
important. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
these days.
I know.
Can't take
Yeah.
that for granted.
Yeah.
I caught up on another new movie, I'm Your Man,
Oh yeah, I watched that
the
too.
German
Yeah.
movie, directed by Maria Schrader, starring several German actors, but also Dan Stevens.
As a creepy humanoid robot man.
Yes, exactly. Um, this one was like, I was like, okay, I was going into this one like, okay, the trailer looked good, so
Hmm.
I'm gonna try it, but I'm not sure what to expect. So, and
Hmm.
it's one of those movies where it unfolds, and I don't know, I found myself really caught up in it and really
Hmm.
enjoying it and really liking the performances of the two leads. I mean,
Yeah. Great dynamic between the two of them, especially
yeah,
like because she's so like hesitant and skeptical of this whole experiment, and
right.
he's just kind of like he plays the part really well.
Oh my
You
god,
have
he's
to
so
admit.
believable as
Yeah.
a robot. Like I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I
It
actually
was,
wrote a review for this one because it was just like one of those movies I was like thinking about a lot, like
mhm.
and like all the ideas in it, and I was like, is it that bad to have these like hologram people? Like, I don't know. It seems better than real people in some
Yeah,
ways.
right. Especially these
But
days. Yeah.
It's like it was making me think about the Stepford Wives and like,
Mhm.
different movies and like how they've portrayed like these like robot human people.
Right.
So
Yeah, I really
yeah.
like that movie, and I think it's a movie I'm gonna probably go back to. So I'll probably pick up the Blu-ray for that one.
Mm,
And then last one is I Like It Like That.
I don't know. I like it
19
like that. I know the
1990.
song.
Yeah, and it's the songs in the movie. It's a 1994 New York movie about a young woman. Actually, it was the actress who was in the original Dexter series who played LaGuerta. She is the lead in this movie, a young woman who's got a couple of kids and a boyfriend who's pretty lousy and out of jail, and then it kind of just traces her life as she's trying to deal with like some crazy situations, but also wants to enrich her own and get a job and like in the city and just like and I think she ends up getting a job working for Griffin Dunn as a record executive,
Mm,
and then there's like a possible relationship there, and it kind of just traces that and where it goes. She's a very independent young woman, and but at odds with like her family and her boyfriend and even her kids. So it's like it just kind of shows. It's like a character study about her life, but it's funny, it's sad, it's got all these kind of mix of emotions, a lot of emotions, and it's a really well done movie that I really
ooh,
enjoyed. I thought it was kind
that
of a
looks
nice
great.
surprise. It's a
Where
really
did
good New
you
York movie.
watch it? Where
What's
did you
that?
watch it? Where did you watch it? It
Oh,
looks really
I
good.
I bought the DVD. It was like
Okay.
part of a set of like um Latin romance movies, even though it's not really like
hmm
quite that. I
Yeah.
mean, um, she is a Puerto Rican woman in the Bronx, and but it's just a really good independent. It wasn't an independent movie; it was a studio movie actually. I think it was the first studio movie directed by a black woman,
Wow.
Darnell Martin. I think that's what its claim to fame when it came out, and she did a really good job. I mean, I feel like she's one of these filmmakers. Like, hadn't given more opportunity, she would have made some more great films like that. And she has made
hmm
some good films, but I think the
hmm
opportunities are like now on TV. I think she did The Good Lord Bird,
Okay.
an episode of
Yeah.
that, American Rust. I'm just looking at her credits, and she's definitely working steadily in television.
hmm
Then she did a movie called Cadillac Records. I think that was her.
Oh yeah. Beyonce was in it, I think, as
Yeah, I
Etta
hadn't
James.
haven't seen that one, but that was like in the 2000s, when my
Mm-hmm.
favorite decade for film.
hmm
Yeah, so yeah, I felt like yeah, she would have, because she didn't really follow up this movie with another movie. She was just doing TV right soon after with Homicide and Oz and ER and so on. But I thought it was a really strong, really well directed movie, and I just had a good time with it. It was really good, and Joyce really liked it as well. So it was good. It was a good, nice discovery. I feel like I needed a
Yeah.
movie I hadn't seen before, and that was been around for a while that I've been meaning to see, and I picked that one, and it turned out to be a winner. So,
Oh,
yay!
great.
All right, that's the recently seen list. Let's get into November in the calendar of 1991. We got, there's a good amount of films, but maybe not quite as many as previous months, which is good. um, Here is the TV spot for our first film.
One had style.
You're the one on the lam and I'm the one on the town. Who'd you rather be at this moment?
One had power. Let me explain something to you in plain English. Together, they had it all.
You got some complaints about the way I'm running things?
Until one of them
Weinberg's double-crossing us.
betrayed the other.
$20 million a year, you want to run it like some candy store.
Now, who would you rather be at this moment? Dustin Hoffman, Nicole Kidman, Bruce Willis in Billy Bathgate, rated R.
Starts Friday, November 1st at a theater near you.
Okay, that's the TV spot for Billy Bathgate. which came out on November 1st. We're on November 1st. I saw this in the theater at the Loews Oriental. I thought the trailer that I saw sold the movie weirdly. It sold it as a movie about Bruce Willis and what's her name? Oh my god, Nicole Kidman, like a gangster movie. Like, and if you watch the movie, that's not that movie.
No, I thought it was a Bruce Willis movie too until I saw it, and I was like, he's not in it that much.
No, and his role is cut short. Let's say. It's really about this young man, the character who befriends Dustin Hoffman's character and their relationship and then where that goes and like how he's kind of like this fly on the wall of like this gangster lifestyle and I don't know, I kind of liked it. I mean, I liked it more than I thought I was gonna like it. Is that I mean, I remember seeing the theater and liking it, but just thinking it wasn't quite the movie I was going to see. But here I just thought, oh yeah, it's actually pretty good for what it's doing. Dustin Hoffman, of course, playing Dutch Schultz, the infamous mobster. But I guess focusing on this other character and seeing it through his eyes kind of was an interesting way to go. And I thought it was just pretty well done. I think you watched this one too.
I did. Yeah, it was a nice surprise because it was just like one of those movies, like you said, was marketed kind of strangely,
right?
And kind of hasn't really been talked about too much, I don't think, in years since.
No, because it was a financial kind of disaster for, I guess, Disney. I mean, maybe not a disaster, but it definitely lost a lot of money at the time, and hopefully recouped it on video. But it was a movie that was supposed to be a lot bigger, but did not end up being so.
It's beautifully made, like the cinematographer Nestor Almendros.
Oh yeah, he's really good.
Really good. And then the editor, I believe, is the editor who did all that jazz. So
holy cow, no wonder.
It just, you feel like the crafts of it, like
it's
just really nicely made.
So Robert Benton, right, as the director,
yeah. And I liked the lead. I thought he was really attractive. So I was like caught up in, his story, and he's kind of like how can you not have a crush on Nicole Kidman?
Right.
Like, she's really ravishing in it.
Right.
And she does a good job too. And yeah, I liked it quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise. Lauren Dean is the lead actor. He was in a movie called Mumford that I really liked, the Kasdan movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, that was a good movie, and he was good. And then I don't know, I don't know if he's still working, but I don't see him as often. I know he was in I remember him in Say Anything. Lily Taylor's boyfriend who cheated on her, so it's like Joe Lies.
Oh, right.
When she makes that song up, that's about him.
Oh, right. Yeah. And there's Stanley Tucci in this.
Yes, and
Frances Conroy played his mother, and she's kind of really sad in it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, actually. So I'm glad I found this one and watched it. So
right. Yeah, I thought it was a nice surprise and good way to start the month.
Yeah.
On a different note, Highlander 2: The Quickening, which I did see in the theater, and because I was a fan of the first Highlander movie. I saw that Highlander 1 in the theater and really enjoyed it. Great music by Queen and a really silly but performance by Sean Connery with his playing a Spaniard with the Scottish accent, and then of course Christopher Lambert's weird accent, and I don't know. I really like the first Highlander, and then the second one comes along. It's the same director. It's Christopher Lambert again, and of course Sean Connery, even though he got killed in the first movie. It's really weird. It's set in the future. it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And this is kind of an infamous production, a lot of production problems. The director had a lot of issues, and I think the actors had issues with the director, and like it was just a whole big mess. And there's a different cut of the movie, and I don't know which cut I saw of this movie, but I didn't was that into it.
Oh my gosh.
It's
I
just a
haven't seen this one.
Yeah, you could
So.
skip this one.
Mm,
Safe to say. Maybe go to the third one.
okay.
I don't even remember the third one all that well, but I just remember this one being just a total kind of disaster of a movie, and it feels like that. It feels like it's just misguided for like a lot of weird choices. Some like choices where it's about like the depletion of the ozone layer, and like how there's like this
Mhm.
protective layer that this kind of thing that they have to use to like protect the earth. But it's like it's odd for the time, and just being a weird futuristic movie, and then like having Christopher Lambert's character show up as this old man for like half the movie. Until like of course he has to regain his youth by killing another Highlander is what they do. It was some strange choices. Virginia Madsen's kind of wasted in it, and yeah, it's just a messy muddle of a movie, and yeah, not a fan. It was also filmed in like I don't know, Buenos Aires or Argentina, somewhere. It just kind of like had a very strange vibe to it. Where the
Sounds
first
like
movie was filmed in New York, and it felt like it. So
oh yeah. It sounds like the making of it is almost more fascinating than maybe the movie itself in a
yeah,
way.
I think so. I think if you watch like a special feature, it'd probably be pretty enlightening. But I didn't have the patience. I just rented it on the television, and
You're
whatever
like,
people do
okay.
these days. And it
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I don't need to watch anymore. This next one, though, I'm a fan of. Here's a TV spot.
One house that no one will enter. Now, Wes Craven, the director of A Nightmare on Elm Street, takes you inside.
She's been feeding that thing between the walls again.
Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs, rated R, starts Friday, November 1st at theaters everywhere.
Okay, that's The People Under the Stairs. Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs. I may have talked to us about this one on the Wes Craven podcast when we did that one. I'm definitely a fan of this movie. I think it's really well done, and it's funny. It's scary. It's just really kind of unique, and especially for the time period and when there wasn't a lot of horror movies in 91. And if you've been listening to series, we haven't been talking about a lot of horror movies because there just weren't that many. There were a lot of
Freddy's Dead.
Yeah, Freddy's Dead.
Chucky 3, which is probably the weaker one, to be honest.
Yeah, it was kind of a saddish time. Like there were a lot of direct-to-video movies and maybe direct-to-video horror, but not quite good theatrical horror. So when this one came along, I was like, okay, I'm down for Wes Craven. And yeah, it did not disappoint when I went to see it at the Marlboro Theater at the Block, and just had a lot of fun with it. And it was nice that it was, Wes Craven was kind of very unlike his peers, his horror director peers. He was very open to giving all kinds of characters a shot in his movies, like having the lead being a young black boy was really nice, and very different from the time where it just felt fresh and real, putting a kid in a situation, and then but also at the same time kind of throwing some like over the top things in it too, and outlandish things. And I don't know, it's a mix of a lot of different things, but it really works. And it's a movie that has aged well in my eyes, and I think I get stronger as I watch it. So I'm appreciative of Wes Craven, what he did with this one.
I can't imagine seeing it in the theater. I feel like it would be an excellent theater film because it's so involving in its twists and turns. And I can see people cheering on like the demise of certain people in the film.
Yes, they definitely did. I remember that.
Sounds great. Like, actually, I feel like this would be one to bring back to the theater right now.
I agree. Like,
just
I
the
felt
original version. We don't have to remake it or anything. Just
there were
bring it
definitely like
back.
a handful of movies this year that that just could be good midnight movies. Like just
Yeah.
like what just like seeing them with the audiences and see how
Mhm.
they react to them now, 30 years later. I think this one holds up well.
Mhm. Great,
Um,
great cast like Ving Rhames
mhm.
and the little boy is really funny. Fool.
Yeah,
I love him.
he's great.
And is it Wendy Roby
I think
or
so.
Robbie
It's
as the
like,
mother? She's like David. She was in something with David Lynch's,
yeah,
right?
she was in her
Twin
and
Peaks.
both of them. They were together in
Yeah,
Twin Peaks as a couple too, I
that's
think.
right. Yeah, which is such great like casting. Like it works really well, I think.
It does. I mean, it really does. And yeah, he was making movies like, I know Wes Craven got flack for making just like, finishing out his career making Scream movies, but he
Hmm.
did some really original things. He did many original things throughout his
Yeah, it's
career. Like he's the
true.
guy who's responsible for, I mean, fucking Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, his
Right.
original thought made that
Hmm.
film, and it's just kind of amazing. And Hills Have Eyes and Last House on the Left, and so many great, things that have like really stuck around in our culture and horror film. And I feel like this is
Hmm.
one of the ones that doesn't get discussed as much as those other ones, or just doesn't. It's not as it's not in that pile of films, but I think it is
Right.
one of the stronger Wes Craven films, and one
I
of the movies he
agree.
wrote as well as directed. So he came up with this film and
Mm.
his idea, his creation. And Kelly Jo Minter, yes, I was thinking of like actors. She's really good. I like her when she does
Yes.
up with things.
Yeah, and also just like the way they use the house, like and
Mm-hmm.
like going through the rooms and everything, like it's really well done, I thought.
Yeah, like for like a single, like almost like a single location movie, like it really utilizes that house in such a great way.
Hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, this was a fun revisit. I remember seeing it on video, like at my neighbor's. It was definitely one of those ones that people rented a lot in the early 90s
Mm-hmm.
and watched at their neighbor's house. And
Yeah.
I remember liking it a lot back then, but not seeing it very many times after that for some reason. Um, Maybe like what you said, it's like one of his movies that isn't discussed as much for some reason, but
Right.
I think
I
I
think it's because
prefer it.
it came out at a time when horror wasn't popular. Maybe that's part of it. And
Yeah, like on the waning.
right,
Mm,
exactly. Before the resurgence he was part of.
right.
All right. People under the stairs. Worth noting there, it cost like maybe $5 million, $6 million, and they do a lot with that budget, I gotta say. 29th Street came out on the same day. I saw this movie in the theater. I was trying rewatching it. And it was okay. It was an okay movie about a guy who, like, it's like based on sort of a true event of this guy who wins the lottery, and how it kind of affects his life.
Mm,
In New York, was it New York? Yeah, it was New York, 29th Street. Um, I liked it. Um, but something about it kind of holds him back just a little bit, maybe because I don't know. I wanted it to be a little bit better because it takes place in the
mhm,
70s, but doesn't really feel like very 70s while watching it.
mm,
It feels like
mhm,
kind of a cozy, like studio 90s movie. So
mhm,
kind of, I wanted it to be a little more gritty 70s. It's not quite that. Anthony LaPaglia is the lead. His dad is like Danny Aiello. There's a lot of like every like Italian American actor of the time was like in
mhm.
this movie. Everyone from like who went on to be in The Sopranos shows up in this movie at some point. Robert Forster is even in this movie. It has some
Ooh,
good
mhm.
moments,
Yeah.
but slightly, I don't know, forgettable maybe.
Mhm,
Um, so I kind of just wanted to like it more than I do, but it wasn't bad.
mhm. I feel like it was kind of hard to find. I felt like I tried to look for this one.
Yeah, because it's now the 20th Century Fox title, and so
Oh my gosh.
so Disney, I don't know, they're not releasing it, but
Mm,
so that's kind of where that's at right now.
yeah.
Another movie, Year of the Gun, came out November 1st. It's like an action thriller directed by John Frankenheimer. One of his like kind of forgotten movies because it's kind of it's good, but it's a little forgettable too. So it's not as good
Yeah,
as like it could have been, maybe. Like, I don't know.
I did watch this one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, I think speaking of movies that are supposed to be in like the 70s, and like
Yes.
all I was noticing were all the extras with like their poofy like early 90s hair and
Right.
jackets and stuff and jeans. So I was like I wish he took a little more attention to the details, because the
Right.
story was kind of a little bit involving for
Hmm.
me. And I thought it's Andrew McCarthy, right?
Right.
Yes. Um, did a pretty good job. And of course, like when Sharon Stone pops up, you're like, okay, like Sharon Stone is a pretty watchable actress.
Right.
Her character's a little annoying, but she's
Yeah.
doing her thing. So I don't know, it was pretty good. And the ending was kind of eerie. Like I liked the
Mhm.
way it ended.
Right.
But yeah, I can see why it was a little forgettable. It kind of reminded me of something else we watched this year, was it Gene Hackman? Like
Oh,
another
yeah.
spy kind of movie. Like,
Right. Company business. Yeah. A
yeah,
little bit
that
like that.
felt like,
Yeah.
yeah, it felt a little dusty, like it was from like another time period, and it was just kind of like
Yeah. Sat on a shelf for a
not,
few years. Yeah.
yeah, like not quite a 91 film.
Right. All right. In November 8th, we have All I Want for Christmas, which was a family movie about I guess it's like a privileged family whose parents divorce, and then the little girl, I think, is played by Thora Birch, and she asks Santa, played by Leslie Nielsen, to get her parents back together for Christmas, and then it kind of goes from there. I tried watching this with the kids; they were not having it. They were bored.
It sounds
Um,
kind of like Curly Sue-ish a little bit.
yeah, I guess it has kind of that vibe. It's like set in New York, but it feels like everything was filmed on sets.
Mm,
So you don't really get a good sense of New York in it at all. It's a very setty movie. There's some good people in it, like Carly Jane Kozak's the mom, Jamie Sheridan as the
mhm.
dad, Ethan Brennan Bree's the kid, and Thora Birch is the kid, and then Kevin Nealon's like the new boyfriend of the mom, and Andrea Martin's in there, and Lauren Bacall is like the grandmother. Good
Whoa.
cast. I don't
Yeah.
know, just not a particularly involving movie,
Hmm.
and it could have been so much better. I just felt a little
Mm,
bit lazy, like lazily put together, honestly. So yeah, the kids lost interest, and so I
mm.
had to shut it off. So I never finished it.
So sad.
And at the time, I didn't see this movie because it was like a kids movie, or if it was sold as a kids movie, and I wasn't interested in seeing a Christmas kids movie in 1991.
Hmm.
If
Yeah,
it
I don't
wasn't Home
remember
Alone,
it. Yeah,
right?
I don't remember it.
Movie called Exposure came out November 8th. I think it was like a thriller. Iron Maze was a movie I remember seeing in the theater because I wrote it down that I saw in the theater. It was like in my list of things I saw in the theater, and yet I can't remember anything
Nothing.
about this movie. I do remember Bridget Fonda being in it, and Jeff Fahey, and I can't tell you exactly what happens in the movie, but something happens. There's Japanese businessmen, and some bad things happen. I need to maybe rewatch it at some point, but I just didn't get around to it for this podcast. I did rewatch a movie I hadn't seen since 1991. Here's a TV spot.
It's Strictly Business. Tommy Davidson, Joseph C. Phillips, and Halle Berry.
It's a hip hype type comedy. It's about straight up homies. You are straight up whiter than the whitest white man. Suits. You never been to Harlem before.
Hey, home dudes, what is going on?
And fly girls. Let me tell you something. That ham is cooked, glazed, and ready to be sliced.
Strictly Business, rated PG-13. Special sneak preview this Saturday, November 2nd.
Okay, that's Strictly Business.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I think you saw this one too, right?
I did for the first time. I loved it.
Awesome. Yeah, I was like, I remember seeing it back in the day and enjoying it and thinking it was a really fun movie. But then kind of like I hadn't revisited it over the years. I just kind of like lost touch with it. And I just had a really good time revisiting this movie. It just had so much fun. It's like a vibrant cast of like Tommy Davidson's the lead, and well, there's two leads. Tommy Davidson and Joseph C. Phillips playing kind of like a very kind of uptight guy, and where Tommy Davidson is like the loose guy, and then they kind of have to like rub off on each other and then shake each other up. And Anne Marie Johnson's the very uptight girlfriend of the very uptight guy. It's set in like the business world of New York City, and it's like a satire, but it's about the struggle that young Black men have in that workforce and in that world, and how oppressive it can be, and how little opportunity they have for success, and when they do have success, and it's questioned, and there's rivals for him, and it's really just, it has like these big thoughts and ideas, but it never feels one bit preachy about them. It's incorporated so well into the movie, and the movie's done in such an entertaining way that it really kind of I don't know, it's just kind of like a really, to me, an underseen movie like of the time. I just felt like this movie deserves more attention because it's so well done. Halle Berry is the object of affection for the uptight guy, and then of course Tommy Davidson has to like make that relationship work between the two of them, and it kind of leads to some wacky places, but it's done in a way that's kind of like feels kind of real, and it just like I don't know, I just felt like I was really entertained by this movie and really engrossed by it. I watched this with Joyce, and she also felt the same feeling. So
good.
I'm like, oh wow, this is kind of like this movie. This movie kind of came out of nowhere, and like it's just so good. Annie Golden pops up in it, and like Sam Rockwell.
Oh yeah, it's very young Sam Rockwell. It's like this little
kind of like a minion, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like
to like the bad guy.
Yeah, like a little twerpy like business intern kind of guy.
Right. And then Samuel Jackson's like
he's great.
Yeah, it's like Tommy Davidson's boss, and he's like kind of aged a bit. It looks like they would grade him up a bit for the movie.
Yeah.
So it was a little confusing, but he's good when he shows up.
It's really funny.
He's funny in it. Yeah, it's a good film, and I bought the Warner Archive DVD, and glad I did, because I want to revisit this one more now.
Yeah, and Halle Berry is like a presence on screen.
Oh yeah,
for sure. She's wonderful, and the dance scenes are.
There's a lot of club scenes. Yeah,
we've had a lot of good club scenes in movies this year, but this might have the best one, maybe.
That's true.
Like really good LL Cool J music.
Soundtrack's great.
Yeah, it's very vibrant. It's very light. Like it kind of flies by because it's only like 80 minutes or something. It's like,
Yes. Yeah.
it's so refreshing. But like you said, it does have that element of social commentary that isn't preachy, but it's there, it's inherent in it, and it's interesting because you don't see it very often in mainstream movies. So
right, it's like these early 90s films were suddenly finally like focusing on Black culture, and then you got some really fun movies like this. I mean, you got some great serious movies like Boys in the Hood, but then also some really fun movies. I feel like this one was maybe a little overshadowed by some of the movies that kind of became more successes, like Boys in the Hood and a few others. I just thought it really was well done. I think this would be a good double feature with another movie I watched. Maybe I think it was last year during the pandemic. Woo with Jada Pinkett.
Oh yeah, that sounds really fun. Yeah.
That's a really fun New York movie from the director of Party Girl.
Yeah,
because Woo is like quite a character.
Yeah.
Much like Halle Berry is in this movie, but Woo is even like a next level Halle Berry in this movie. So it would be a good double feature.
It kind of has that "Don't Tell Mom the babysitter's dead," kind of like that corporate shenanigans vibe, which I kind of liked too. So,
and there's also like dressing up montages and that sort of thing. So
yeah,
which is great.
Yeah, I'm glad I watched this one. This was a gem. I hope other people go seek it out if they haven't seen it.
Gotta do that. Strictly business, guys. Also, November 15th. And you thought your parents were weird? I haven't seen that. Beauty and the Beast came out in theaters on November 15th. I did see this in theaters, the Lowe's Oriental Theater, which always have like the Touchstone movies and the Disney movies. So I went to see that with my family. It wasn't quite the movie for me at the time, to be honest. Like a lot of the Disney movies. I don't think I connected with a lot of them because of that. The Disney animated films, they still aren't my thing all these years later. So maybe there's something just to it. But I know it's connected to a lot of people. So I'm going to let you talk about it.
Oh, I do like this one. I mean, I like The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, like that Howard Ashman, Alan Menken duo. I think the songs are great. I love some Angela Lansbury as Mrs. Potts.
Right.
She delivers. Really beautiful animation, actually. I had it on during Thanksgiving, so it was kind of fun to revisit because I do remember seeing it in the theater and being really awestruck by like the ballroom dance scene and the stars through the skylights and everything.
Right.
So yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I'm not a huge animation person in general, but yeah, I do have a fond spot for those two movies in particular. I think I was like right at the age when I was getting a little too old for it. So
I'll watch it with I think Beatrix might want to watch it. So and she might have seen it before. She's talked about Belle a few times. So she knows about it somehow, and she might have watched it. I might have to watch it with her to see it through her eyes.
You know what's really cool is the maybe you've seen it, the Howard Ashman documentary, which is on Disney Plus. And what's cool about it is they talk about like Little Shop of Horrors and like all the things he wrote. And they show like studio sessions of Beauty and the Beast, like Angela Lansbury and Jerry Orbach recording. And it's really cool, actually. And it, it was sad that he died like right before. I think he died like the day the movie came out or something. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just feel like he was a really big talent, and yeah, but I think it gave me kind of a newfound appreciation to like Disney movies at that time because they seemed a little less corporate, which is hard to believe, but
Mhm.
it was like people getting together in a room and like coming up with like characters and drawings, and I don't know, it seemed very different and more organic maybe than, I don't know how things are created now, but they just seem like very processed
A
to
committee.
me.
Yeah, studio.
Yeah.
Things are made by committee, I think these days.
Yeah. I do recommend that documentary. I think it's pretty short too, so
Yeah,
it just
I think I
seems
should
like
check that out.
yeah.
This movie is very Disney. Here's a TV spot.
He paid his debt to society.
What was he in prison for?
Now
Come out wherever you are. I want you the hell off my property.
he's paying back his lawyer.
You have a daughter around 16?
16? What?
We got the psychopath in our faces.
Evening, ladies.
You son of a... I mean, who knows what's true and what isn't?
From director Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Nick Nolte, Jessica Lange, Cape Fear, rated R. Exclusive engagement Wednesday. Starts Friday everywhere.
Yeah, that's Cape Fear.
Oh yeah. Does Disney own this movie
No,
too?
no, it's not. It's a
Okay.
Universal film.
Okay, good.
Very not Disney. So I saw this in the theater, Kingsway Theater. It was I remember like really strong memory of seeing this because it left such an impression on me and my sister. It was just a very strong film.
It's a strong film.
Yeah, it's a very strong movie. It's so strong that for years I just didn't watch it because I felt like it was so over the top. Like oh, I don't feel like watching that because I don't feel like, just like that over the topness, like that quality. But I don't know. It had such a strong reaction to it the first time. I thought it was great, and like and this like the music and everything, there's something just like this quality about it. And then so I didn't see. I watched it maybe once over the years, and then I watched it just a couple of weeks ago with my wife, and she hadn't seen it in a long time too, so it was kind of nice seeing it for the first time in a long time, and it's great.
It's great.
It's got it's all the things that you kind of remember about the film. It's so well put together, but of course Martin Scorsese and all his crazy shots and just camera moves and the incorporation of music and technique, and so good. it's just so well put together. But I think in this viewing, what really appealed to me was Julia Lewis. I think I just was like knocked out by how good she is in this movie.
100%. Yeah.
Just like kind of blew me away, and considering that this was like it was an early performance for her, and then there was like the scene we talked about, the scene where De
In the
Niro
school.
goes to the school and he's pretending to be her drama teacher, and they have this conversation. When I read up on it, like that scene was like improvised. Like what?
That blows my mind. That like blows my mind. Honestly.
It's like, how is that scene improvised? It's so masterfully acted by both De Niro and Julia Lewis, how they play off of each other. And I read it, I was like, yeah, it was improvised. They did 3 different takes of it, and they went with the first one.
I just can't believe, like, that's one of the biggest drops of knowledge I've gotten this year. Is that I may have heard of that before, but I don't know. For some reason, I can't believe that. So wild. She's fantastic in it, though.
She is, yeah, she's pretty amazing, and De Niro's are like really good. And I like Nick Nolte in this movie. And yeah, just so well put together.
Ileana Douglas too, right?
When she shows up, yeah, I like. Oh yeah, she kind of adds some levity, and but her character, like you just know like something's gonna go wrong there. She strikes up a relationship with De Niro's very vengeful character.
Yeah,
it's pretty intense.
Yeah,
and then there's Jessica Lange. Now, I like Jessica Lange as an actress a lot in different parts, and she's just like you have to be in the mood to watch Jessica Lange because she acts. This is her acting. She basically acts as she's in a Tennessee Williams play.
Yes. She's in Tennessee Williams land in this film. She's like, I'm gonna do this smoking and like dramatic gestures with my eyelids and all this stuff. It's great.
It was like kind of very noticeable in this viewing, like how like whoa, she's going so like over. I know the movie is going over the top too, but she's like going over in Tennessee Williams land, and which is fine, but it just like I don't know if it services the movie. And then like, can she act without a cigarette? I was wondering like how is like she can.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely her prop of choice. It's her thing. But I appreciated it because it kind of adds, I don't know, maybe gives it a southernness, even though the movie doesn't feel particularly southern. But she kind of, I guess, maybe that's her injection.
She is southern in this film too.
I like Joe Don Baker when he shows up, and of course, you have Robert Mitchum and Gregory Peck kind of playing. They were the original movie, playing the original lead roles, and here they're kind of playing the defense and attorney, right? Like the opposites of kind of like what they were.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Sides, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
And then Martin Balsam, and there's a lot of a lot of great people. Fred Thompson, playing very much like a Fred Thompson type. It's good. It's really well done, and I do think the original is a very good film, but I don't know, the remake kind of like is another level kind of thing.
Yeah, and definitely Juliette Lewis like makes it a really great movie, I think. But I saw this too young. I don't know, it really scared me as a kid. Like it's just I found this scene with Ileana Douglas just so disturbing, so frightening as a child. Like I think I watched it on video with like my sister and like her boyfriend, and I was like so into it. Like I loved the music, and I loved like even then I could tell like this is shot in a way that's so different and stylized, and but now it's still like a movie I really enjoy watching it, and I'm not as like petrified as I was when I was watching it as a kid. You know what I mean? So,
I hear you on that.
I kind of know where I watched it with Colin, and he hadn't seen it before, and he thought it was going to be kind of like a dumb movie, and I was like, no, this is going to be good, and he was like destroyed. He wasn't ready for like the Juliette Lewis moments, and so he was really into it, so it was fun to watch with somebody who hadn't seen it before.
For sure. And I also love that as a family they go see Problem Child. I think that's pretty perfect. That's what you do with your family. Go see Problem Child. And then he interrupts it for them, sadly. Takes all the fun out of Problem Child for them. How dare he? That's one of the worst things he does. It's actually smoking and like carrying on in a movie theater. That's like to me, that's a crime that's
enough.
That like he deserves what he gets at the end, but just for that alone. For being obnoxious in a movie theater.
Revenge.
Yes.
So you have this and you have Beauty and the Beast the same weekend. Like your choices are just so
same weekend.
Rich.
It's pretty great. Then you had an indie film choice. Here is the trailer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Tom Tom Club's own mistress of rock and roll.
She came to LA to play her music.
Yeah!
She ended up playing to strangers' intimate fantasies.
You do phone sex for a living?
Why don't you tell me what you've got on it?
What if you just sat down across from me? Tell me all about your body. Oh, you're good, honey.
Inside the night.
Have we talked before?
And outside the rules.
I love to have men watch me. It makes me so hot.
A woman runs the risk of turning on the wrong guy.
Hello?
Hello, Angel. It's me. You remember me, don't you, Angel?
No witnesses, no evidence of any kind, and no corpse, right?
Right, no corpse. Thanks a lot.
Maybe I can help you.
What's in it for you?
You know how long it takes to become a homicide detective? Chances are this guy is not going to call you again.
But if he does, you want to be alone?
I think about you all the time now, Angel. You're my new favorite girl.
I don't know who you think you are. This place is gonna nail your...
You look for me and I'll keep looking for you, but I got a feeling I'm going to find you first. I'm very good at what I do. And what I do is nasty.
She just turned on the wrong guy. Intimate stranger.
Maybe we could have phone sex together, huh?
Okay, that's Intimate Stranger, starring Blondie herself, Deborah Harry. This one kind of came out. It came out. I guess it came out in theaters, but I didn't see it into maybe theater because it was very small for this. I didn't see it to home video later on. I think it was like one of those movies where it's like made for cable. Maybe that's what I'm probably thinking of.
Yeah, that's
it had like but it had a small theatrical too. I know it did somewhere, maybe overseas, but it's I remember seeing it on video. I'm like, oh, what is this movie with Deborah Harry in it? And it's a phone thriller. I mean, hello.
Yes.
Who doesn't want to see a phone thriller? Now, I love the phone thrillers of the late 80s and early 90s. I mean, come on, Lisa. There's so many good ones.
Murder by Phone.
I
love that one.
Call Me. There's quite a few. Disconnected. There's like a list I can read off somewhere. But Deborah Harry plays like this phone sex operator, and she starts getting targeted by this creep who's killing women, and then she has to kind of do like a bit of a sting with James Russo to catch this guy, and he's like this cop goes undercover to help her, and then it kind of goes from there. But it's kind of on that level is conventional, like one of those conventional movies, but this is also a Blondie starring movie, like which gives it another level. It's like it could be this conventional throwaway movie, but then it's a Blondie starring movie. There's no other Blondie. How many Blondie starring movies are there? I think just this one, right?
Yeah. And the other one. The Cronenberg movie. Well, I guess she's not really a star.
Yeah, she's like she's not the lead. Yeah, she's like a supporting character. Here, she's the star. So it's kind of amazing, right?
And she's
to watch
good.
a phone thriller with Blondie playing a phone sex operator. Like, what
she
more
does
do you
it
want?
She does it so effortlessly, like her little phone sex sessions, and she's just kind of like, she seems a little jaded about it. Like she's just kind of like, oh, here's this caller I'm gonna do. I think she did a really good job with it.
I agree. Because I agree. I'm like, okay, we watch this Blondie-led movie, but it's gonna be maybe a little bit tough because she's not, a professional actress. Like you hadn't seen her in a lot of she had been in movies. The year before she was in Tales from the Dark Side of the movie, but it was like she hadn't been in movies where she was like the major part of the movie, and like, oh, okay. Here she is, and she's just like she's pretty great. And she does that disaffected kind of thing really good, like you mentioned, and it's very believable. Like she's just very believable in the role, and she's a singer in the movie too. So you get to hear Blondie sing.
What is she saying? Oh my gosh,
she does cover versions of things.
Yeah, there's like a really long cover version of one particular song.
"Piece of My Heart."
Yes, while her sister is getting kidnapped or whatever.
Ain't gonna eat out my heart anymore. Another one.
So good.
Yeah, I mean, you want to hear Blondie sing, you want to hear Blondie have phone sex. I mean, this is your movie for you. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and then where it goes is like conventional thriller land. It's totally fine for me because I kind of got caught up in it anyway.
Yeah, me too. It was very like moody. It had a very moody vibe to it.
It was kind of stylized, right? It was like it felt like it definitely had a style to it.
At first, I thought maybe Stanley Tucci was playing the creepy phone caller. All they show is like his mouth, and like I was like, oh, that looks like a Stanley Tucci. Like, but alas, I don't think it was
a fun reveal. Yeah, sadly no. Yeah, this one kind of came like I bought the video, and so glad I could watch it. And I think it's on YouTube, I think.
That's where I watched it. Yeah,
it's one of those movies that's not on disc, so you kind of have to watch it whatever way you can watch it. So,
I like the cover too. If that's the video cover,
yeah,
it's kind of lovely.
It's got that phone talking on the phone, and it feels kind of like one of those very 80s kind of paintings. No, it's not quite a Nagel, but like, that very 80s vibe,
Yeah.
No, it's a 91 movie. All right. Also on that day, Meeting Venus, which I did watch for the first time, actually. This is a movie about opera. What's crazy about this movie is that in 1991, a big studio like Warner Brothers was making a movie about opera singers, about putting together an opera. That's kind of wild to me, right?
Yeah.
And then like filmed in like Hungary, and like starring mostly like Hungarian and like foreign actors, but Glenn Close as the lead, like, well, sort of which kind of comes in like halfway through the movie almost. It's an interesting, fascinating movie about if you wanted to know about the world of opera and what it's like putting together an opera. Like, maybe this is definitely not going to be the movie for everybody.
Right.
It's very niche, which is kind of why it's surprising that a studio made it. But I liked it. I thought it was good.
Me too. I watched it with Colin, and because he's an opera singer.
Oh, wow. Perfect.
He knows this world very well, and he was like, this is scarily accurate. And then we were looking up that it's, the director has done operas, and kind of it's his own experience, and it was really fascinating. Like, I was like learning all these things about like the unions, and like in Europe, and like all the different culture, the clashes of different Europeans, and I was like, oh, this is a really intelligent, intriguing movie. And it was, I found it really moving by the end. I remember I was like shedding a tear. I think just how it kind of all comes together in the end.
That's right.
And Glenn Close was really nice in it, I thought too. So really good performance. So yeah, this was a surprise, another surprise.
Yeah, that director made a movie in the early 80s called Mephisto, which I remember being another kind of like a movie that kind of just, it was a sleeper movie that surprised a lot of people when it came out. So good stuff.
I saw his movie Sunshine when it came out, and I remember
that's right.
I remember liking it a lot. I haven't revisited it, but his movies definitely have some like meat to them. They're not always straightforward. They kind of go off in all these different directions, but they kind of come together at the end. I don't know, he's really talented. So yeah, Warner Brothers releasing this film. That's interesting.
And then he made a movie that's kind of similar, maybe to Meeting Venus, called Being Julia, with
Annette
Bening.
Yeah,
about that world. That's kind of cool.
I forgot about that one.
Makes movies like that. Not many filmmakers today do that. And then Prospero's Books came out, which I hadn't seen in a long time. So that's a what's his name, Peter Greenaway film.
I haven't seen it.
Based on was it The Tempest by Shakespeare. And then November 22nd, The Addams Family came out. I saw this in the theater this was a big movie day. We went to see this, The Last Boy Scout, Father the Bride, and Bugsy in the same day.
Holy moly.
So like the whole day in the movie theater. It's like we theater hopped, and then like I think we might have like came part way in on like Last Boy Scout or something. It was one of those movies where we didn't see all the way through one of the movies or two of the movies, but but I definitely remember seeing Addams Family, but maybe it's the first movie. And I don't know if I had a lot of anticipation for it because I did watch the show, but I was more like into the monsters, I guess, as a kid.
I think I was too.
Yeah, I like the Addams Family, but I think in New York, for some reason, the monsters played more on television. I feel like that was on reruns a lot. So that's the one I grew up with more. And so I wasn't getting a monsters movie, but I watched the Addams Family, and I definitely enjoyed it. I thought the actors were pretty spectacular in the movie. Like they're really giving real dimension to these characters who are, of course, we've seen before in different incarnations like television, but here I know it was good.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. And of course Charles Addams is the guy who created the Addams Family. He's a New Jersey guy.
Nice.
I think Westfield, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's a whole tribute to him in like Westfield there somewhere. So it's all about they're all about Charles Addams there. I like the movie. I think I like the sequel more.
Oh yeah.
Addams Family Values.
That's amazing. With Joan Cusack.
Yeah, that one to me holds up maybe a little better, but that's the, and I think I've watched these with the kids, and that's the one that they like. They really like the new animated movies.
Oh, interesting.
But they like the sequel more than the first one of the live action film. So
oh yeah, it is funny like watching it later, like you said, like the actors giving a little more to their parts that maybe like when I was like 11, I didn't really think about it, but now looking at it more closely, I'm like, oh, Angelica Houston is giving this really cool performance, and Raul Julia is like going all out, and they have a really good chemistry together in the movie, I thought too, and the score was really good on this viewing too, just like really great music score too. So
that's Mark
and all the
Mark Shaman, right?
Yeah, Mark Shaman, and all the crafts and stuff. Like those sets are great. And all the product placement is kind of fun.
I mean, Barry Sonnenfeld was a DP, and he did Coen Brothers movies, and so he has a unique view, like his like low angles, and it kind of definitely gives it a vibe that's kind of nice, and that works really well for the films that the Addams Family films. So I think maybe he got caught up doing like Men in Black movies, which are not my favorite, but which is unfortunate. But I think it works definitely well for these first two movies. I think he did like a romantic comedy between the two Addams Family movies, For Love or Money, with Michael J. Fox, which just came out on Blu-ray.
Right.
I actually like that movie. New York romantic comedy with Michael J. Fox.
Cool. Okay.
That's 1983, so I can't talk about that. But all right. Also on November 22nd. So these are like the we're getting into like the Thanksgiving movies, right?
Yeah.
So they had like so they had two family options. They had an Addams Family, and then they had American Tail 2, Fievel Goes West, which I didn't see. I've never seen any American Tail movies. I think it was.
I did see the first one.
Too old for them.
Yeah.
What was it like?
Yeah. I saw the first one when I was like 5. I was really into Somewhere Out There, the song.
I remember the song.
Yeah. I think I really liked it as a kid. So, but I have not gone back to the Fievel movies. Maybe I should.
Yeah, I think it was like the American Tail, Fievel movies, and then the Land Before Time movies, which were just like not. They were like the big like animated kids options at the time, but it's that they weren't. Yeah, that was
You were
maybe.
too old for
was,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little. I was watching horror with with Teresa Russell. So.
Intimate Stranger.
Intimate Stranger. And the next movie, The Double Life of Veronique. I was starting to watch art house movies and Kieslowski movies. That was a good one. I hadn't seen it in a while, but I remember liking that one a lot.
I watched that one for the first time, and
what do you think?
It's pretty fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was like entranced the whole way through.
Yeah.
There's a really good commentary on it by Annette Insdorf, I think is how you say her name.
Mm-hmm.
She teaches at the new I think she teaches at Columbia. She teaches film, and she does like these really good 92 Y talks, like interviews with like filmmakers and stuff. I really like her interviews.
Cool.
But I think she worked for him or something, the director. I can't remember the like relationship, but she kind of goes through the movie and she talks about all the different things that are going on in it visually, and I really liked the commentary. It kind of helped me piece together the movie a little for myself. So
yeah, because his
I
movies are kind of
it.
His movies are kind of like puzzles, and yeah, so I get that.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I think Irene Jacob too was the lead. She was good in that movie. She was playing, a dual role. So
yeah,
good stuff. And then the same day, in varying quality, here is the next movie. Here's a TV spot.
But a song, honey, before we all get arrested.
There's only one thing I like to do in the dark, honey, and it ain't sing.
They always battled.
Oh, I think it's not a sex problem with you. I think it's a hearing problem.
But they always made peace.
2 hours along with you, that boy deserves a Purple Heart.
Well, it was purple, all right, but I don't think it was his heart.
Whenever we went to war.
We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last.
Bette Midler, James Caan, For the Boys. Rated R. Opens November 22nd in select cities. November 27th everywhere.
Okay, that's For the Boys, starring Bette Midler and James Caan. The heat, the passion, the romance between Bette Midler and James Caan in this movie. That chemistry, man.
Oh my god.
It burns the screen.
Oh my god, you feel the tension of like their dislike for one another. I feel like
oh my god, do you ever? It's an odd.
I'm actually
movie
scared to say
watch.
anything. It's very odd. I'm like weirdly afraid like somehow Bette Midler's gonna like listen to this and like reprimand me somehow. I just feel it. I'm scared to criticize Bette Midler.
I kind of felt bad for her while watching the movie. I feel like the movie really disservices her because she's so talented and such a great actress and singer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I think the movie's like, she's obviously we're saying that her and James Caan are just not well paired, and their chemistry is not there, and they just don't really work like well together as an on-screen couple. But also the movie kind of fails in like just delivering this time. It's a movie that spans time, and there's old age makeup that's really poorly done.
Really
to say the
bad. Like the kind of the worst I can think of, honestly.
Yeah, it's so like, I don't know. This is directed by Mark Rydell, who's like this established director who's made some like big movies like on Golden Pond and so on. But I don't know. I just felt like, were they sleeping on the job in this one? Because it just like I don't know. It just didn't really come together. Really.
Yeah.
In this one, and I was kind of just feeling bad for Bette Midler because she felt like she was kind of stuck doing this character and playing against James Caan and it's not working. And like, what do you do, right, when you're like these two big actors and you're cast in a movie, you have to make it work, and it's not working. And the movie's like released for like a big holiday movie. But who was this movie made for? I don't know. It wasn't made. I guess it was made for older people.
Like older people,
remember World War II and like the USO and those kind of comedy teams, and and just entertainers were there to
Mhm.
again were there for the boys. I just didn't, yeah, it doesn't come together. It was clearly a big budgeted movie, but I don't think it ended up grossing. I think it made half of what it cost, and I could have told them that that was going to happen if they had asked me. I'm like, no, spend your money on something else. This is not going to work.
Yeah, you're right though. It's like she does a good job with what she's given. Like,
yeah, because she's doing her shtick and she's funny, but it's like not quite landing because it's like you're playing off of somebody else you have no chemistry with. So like, I don't know what do you do with that.
Yeah. And the script, like the story, just didn't go anywhere. It just felt very flat. Like,
right.
I don't know. I was hoping for a little bit better, but this one was a struggle.
Yeah,
I think, and it's very long.
It is long too. I mean, Marshall Brickman was credited as screenplay, and he's like, he's the guy who wrote movies with Woody Allen, like Annie Hall and Manhattan, and he's done some great things. But
I don't know what happened here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Father Is Coming was released on November 22nd, and Young Soul Rebels. Let's see, Age Isn't Everything was released direct to video. I think that's one of those body swap movies, I want to say. I think Jonathan Silverman was in it. I sort of remember the box, but it's been a while.
Look at it.
And then let's see. Oh yeah, and then November 29th, Hearts of Darkness, a filmmaker's apocalypse, came out. That, of course, is the documentary on the making of Apocalypse Now.
And you watched this recently, right?
I watched it recently because I hadn't seen it in a long, long time. I remember like some of the things that happened in it, like, of course, Martin Sheen having a heart attack while making the movie, and like that's how much work and effort and like struggle was to make Apocalypse Now, and this one, of course, chronicles all of that, and it's kind of fascinating to see it just kind of unroll, like, just roll out in front of your eyes, and then of course, I thought it was really well done, and and of course made by, I think a lot of it was shot. His wife made a lot of the footage. Eleanor Coppola, and then put together by George Hickenlooper and Faxbar. It was well done for sure, and it was really good seeing it in this viewing because it gave me a newfound appreciation for the movie. I always liked Apocalypse Now, but war movies in general kind of are not my go-tos, but I appreciated the movie more watching it.
Does it go into like Marlon Brando very much?
Yeah, there was definitely some stuff on Marlon Brando, and so you get kind of like a good overview of the film, the making of this movie, and then look back at it too, and then TV spot for our next movie, another period movie. Here it is.
The holidays have begun, and so has the fun.
Play ball!
Because Mac is back.
Oh no!
With a new friend.
Veda Sultanfuss.
I like my name.
In a new adventure.
Country life!
Facing a whole new challenge.
Have you ever kissed anyone? No.
My Girl.
Better not tell anyone. Bet not either.
Rated PG. Coming Wednesday, November 27th to a theater near you.
That's My Girl. Starring Anna Klumsky. There was a TV spot that I was tempted to use, but I didn't, because it totally sold the movie as Macaulay Culkin at Christmas movie.
Are you kidding me?
It's like, what? It's like, it's the holidays and Mac is back.
Oh Jesus.
And then when
It's so weird.
what they do is they put the title "My Girl" and they put snow behind it, like snow
Oh my
falling.
God.
I'm
I
like, it's
can't
not a
even.
Christmas movie. It's like a summer movie. God's sakes.
That's so shameless. What in the
It's like set in
world?
Florida, right? In the summer. As
There's
far as away
bees.
from
There's bees. There's no
there's
bees at
bees.
Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a coming of age story about a young girl who is a daughter of a mortician, right? Or does he have like a funeral house? But he's like a mortician too. So he's, her mom died, so she's fascinated with death, and then it kind of traces that and where that goes. Of course, the complications of like being young and dealing with death and then of course becoming a young woman, and then your dad kind of starting a relationship up with Jamie Lee Curtis. What happens when what
Who
happens?
else?
Yeah,
He's awesome.
with the wig, but I like the wig this one. Poor Jamie Lee Curtis, always with wigs, but I liked her wig in this one, I guess. Right. It's not too bad. So it's set in what, the 60s?
I think like
Or
70.
early 70s, somewhere in there.
Yeah, early
Yeah.
70s. I haven't seen it in a while, but I saw it a lot, like when I was 12. And
I feel like I watched this one, even though it was like movie meant for younger kids, but I don't know. I feel like this one definitely crossed over to like a lot of different age groups.
yes, like my sisters liked it, and they're older and like cool. And my parents liked it. Like I think we watched it as a family, like rented it and watched it together.
I think that's one of those movies that everyone liked, and it did pretty well at the box office. They made a sequel. I saw it at the theater at the Block, and it was kind of a nice surprise, like a summer movie, but in November. And I just really enjoyed it, and I watched it again, and it just kind of holds up just as well as I remember it. Like, oh, this is as good as I remember it. And yeah,
good cast too.
It is a good cast. Like I was mentioning this before, like how I don't like Dan Aykroyd that much. I don't really bond with his humor, but he's okay here. He's fine here as a dad. He's just playing the dad. It's not like doing his like usual kind of shtick. Macaulay Culkin, of course, as a friend, and it's good people pop up in it. Griffin Dunn and Richard Masur, a few others, for recognizable faces at the time. This one definitely is to me a movie that could have came out in the 70s, like
that's true.
In the 90s, yeah. It could have easily been like a coming of age story in the 70s, and even though I think it does an okay job at doing recreating the time period. I mean, it wasn't too distracting. There was definitely wigs and like costumes that feel like they're costumes, but it was fine. I was okay with it. This one, where some of these other ones, I was like, well, no.
It's definitely a very nostalgic movie, I'm sure, for a lot of people from this year.
Totally see that. I think it was pretty well done. Director was Howard Zieff, who made one of my all-time favorite comedies, Private Benjamin. Which
really? So okay.
Yeah, so as of this recording, Private Benjamin's still not on Blu-ray for some reason. That was like a huge movie when it came out in 1980. He had some missteps. He did the remake of Unfaithfully Yours with Dudley Moore. I remember that being kind of a bomb. He did the boxing movie with Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal.
The Main Event. I love that song. The disco song. Great.
I haven't seen that in a long time. I should rewatch that. I wonder what it's gonna be like. And then like the movie he did before this was kind of like a breakout hit, The Dream Team, with Michael Keaton and a few other people. And then I don't know. I think he did the sequel, and then that was it. So yeah, but I think he died. Yeah, he died in 2009. Yeah, I think this is a good one, a really good one. So I'm in for My Girl. The last movie is Paper Mask from November. So that's November. Before we get to December, let's take a break and we'll be back right after this.
I made up my mind that I would be a king, you know, genuine. Reign supreme at the top of the heap, and like working all day, no time to sleep. Destined to rise in front of your eyes, so we surmise it's time for the prize. The time has come, we gotta be number one. The world is full of power, and we got to get some. No more begging and useless teardrops, so I'm trading these teardrops for props. Going all the way and with my powerful team, conquering the world, and I'ma rise like cream. All out, putting heads to bed, cause I'm a grown man and I hate to get spoon-fed. Wisdom, son, I rose in the east, till we reach the top, won't be no peace, cause it's strictly business, strictly business. Ain't no way I'm gonna stop. Strictly business, ain't no time to gamble. Gotta make it to the top. Everything we do gotta be brand new. Moves we make gotta make the earth shake. Sitting at my desk as I manifest, and my team big plans that'll make us the best. Cause we can rule this game we all play. Pop champagne and make every day a holiday. Smooth as a rose but hard like steel. From now on I'ma make my dreams real. On a mission, gotta get there. If you wanna rule, you gotta be in there. Our master plan is the best, and ain't a man alive that'll beat us to a conquest. Cause this is the reason we was born, to rock on and on and on and on. Look at my eyes, it's hypnotizing. Word is born, we gotta keep on rising. Strictly business, strictly business. Ain't no way I'm gonna stop. Strictly business, ain't no time to gamble. Gotta make it to the top. Strictly business, life is hard to handle. Ain't no way I'm gonna stop. Strictly business, ain't no time to gamble. Gotta make it to the top. I'ma be a legend in all the books and mags, stuffing the cash inside garbage bags. Ain't no time to waste, we gotta motivate past anybody that stops to get gas. Forever and a day, my destiny's set. No sweat, I make it rougher than rough gets. Hold on tight, if not, get blown away. Pick up the pieces, cause we're known to say radical things to get a champion's ring. Give it up, punk, don't make me swing. We plan ahead to get the butter and the bread. Dressed in black and I'm staying out the red. So when it comes to like taking your charge, give props where they do and stop fronting on target. Gotta go for what you know to be the cream of the crop. With the power of God, I'ma rise to the top. It's strictly business, strictly business. Ain't no way I'm gonna stop. Strictly business, ain't no time to gamble. Gotta make it to the top. Strictly business, life is hard to handle. Ain't no way.
And we're back. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's see, what do we got next? So we're in December now. Direct to video, there was a movie released. I'm gonna play the trailer. Here it is.
Artie Logan is sent to the All-American School.
I'm a new man.
You better be, Logan.
He meets the All-American girl.
Are you sure you're not dangerous?
Did you fill me in?
Top sorority, honor student, cheerleader.
Queen of the hop.
Yeah. Bad case of college burnout.
Did I rattle you?
Oh, no. I love being stalked by Norman Bates.
And is accused of the All-American murder.
Charlie, dump you. After 23 years of getting shafted, you snapped.
I've been grilled by the jokers. You must be the ace.
You hear that sound in your head, don't you? Over and over. Only you burn up people instead. Anyone who mistreats you.
She kept pushing it.
He's going to college.
Welcome to Fairfield.
Christopher Walken.
You got enough light? It might be blood.
Charlie Slatter.
It's been an education.
And Joanna Cassidy.
Put that knife down, would you? Somebody might think you're a crazed killer.
All-American Murder.
Okay, that's All American Murder. This was a movie that I didn't see when it first came out on video. I think it took me maybe a couple of years. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll watch that movie. It has like Christopher Walken on the cover. It's in the horror section for some reason. What is he doing in this horror movie?
It's murder in the title, so it's horror.
Yeah.
Just put it in the horror section.
And it is, and it's weirdly, it is a slasher movie.
Ooh, nice.
It's about a young man in college who kind of gets into trouble, and then he gets targeted as I guess confused as the killer. Like someone thinks he's a killer and he's not, and so he has to spend the whole movie kind of trying to find out who the killer is, so he can like not be the person who's being accused. And then as he keeps doing that, he gets more and more trouble because every time he shows up somewhere, like a murder happens, and he gets so it looks like he does it. So the killer is clearly trying to make him look like a murderer. And it's just kind of like it kind of increases as it goes along. Charlie Schlatter is the young man. You'll remember him in like movies like 18 Again, and he was like in a Police Academy movie. He was like on TV a lot in different shows. Here, like he's the lead. He's kind of like, I think he was like, I want to say he like played Ferris Bueller on TV. Was that him? I think it might have been him. Okay. Yeah, he kind of has like a smart alecky in a way, kind of like Ferris Bueller is in a way. So there's kind of a dose of comedy in this movie that might throw off people if they're looking for like a slasher movie, because there is that comedic element to it. And then Christopher Walken is the cop. He kind of shows, when he shows up, it's like, whoa, who's doing this movie? And he's like, doing his dialogue in his, Christopher Walken way. He just kind of emphasizes certain words, and like he has his own, rhythm and staccato, and
yeah,
it definitely adds to the movie. And so he kind of is the ticking clock for the movie. Like he gives him a certain amount of time to like, you have to do this by, certain time. So you have like 8 hours, and then like he shows up every once in a while to remind him like you have like 6 hours left.
Oh my god!
Solve this murder. It's kind of funny actually.
That would be so intense.
At some point, I'm like, is he the murderer? Because he's just like always showing up to like tell me the time. And it's like, crime scenes. Like he's like, because he's a kid, is like there. He's always there, and then these murders just happen to happen, and or just
like Jessica Fletcher.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like in Diagnosis Murder. That's the show that this lead actor was in. Speaking of Murder, She Wrote. So yeah, it's kind of a fun movie because it has that comedic elements, like a little sort of like tongue-in-cheek quality to it. It has like some cool people in it, like Josie Bissett is from Melrose Place is in it, but also Joanna Cassidy, who plays like the dean's wife. And we're fans of Joanna Cassidy on this podcast.
Huge fans. I thought she should have been nominated for Babysitter's Dad this year.
Yeah, I mean Rose. Actress. I mean, right on top of that, Rose. Joanna, right on top of that, Rose Cassidy.
Iconic year.
Yeah,
for Joanna.
And yeah, she has a wig. Like she always wear wigs at this point in her life. She's good. I think she's good in the movie, and it's just it's entertaining. It's kind of an entertaining movie. I have the Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome.
I'll have to pick this one up. And the writer is the writer of Crimes of Passion, Making Love, and The Mirror Cracked.
It has like a kind of like a. Yeah, I could see why it would be that writer, because it definitely has a crime, like it definitely has like a comedic bent, like Crimes of Passion does, like a little kind of warped sense of humor. Not quite, not as serious as say like Making Love, but it's good. It's better than you'd think it's going to be, but it's also it's pretty silly. It was directed by Anson Williams, who was in Happy Days.
I think it's
the only movie he directed. I think he might have directed a lot of TV, but the only feature film that I think he made. So that's kind of curious too. Yeah, kind of was one of those movies. Maybe there are special features because I kind of want to know more, like how this one came together.
Yeah, it sounds really good. Actually, I'll have to check this one out.
Yeah, it's kind of a. I wouldn't like expect big things from it, but it's kind of fun. It was fun. I thought it was fun. And it's worth mentioning here that the movie Pin, which was like a late 80s movie, never got a theatrical release in the US. It played in Canada. But it did get a limited run at the Film Forum on December 4th, 1991.
Wow. Yeah, I remember reading about that.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't see it, but I would have loved to if I'd known.
Yeah, me too.
It wasn't advertised. It wasn't like advertised in the paper. It wasn't like, like oh, Pin, what's this? And so there weren't TV spots or trailers that were playing in anywhere. So yeah, I had no clue it was out. So I don't know how well it did at that 1 week engagement at Film Forum, considering it wasn't really advertised at all. But yeah, it was.
I can see like Amy Taubin being there.
I hope so.
And like a coat.
I really do hope so.
But it was a very hip crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, Pin's a great movie. I mean, I talked about it before in this podcast. I just love it. And it's surprised because of a New World title. New World video release, but it was a different production. It was produced in Canada. So they just acquired it. But I'm wondering who has the rights. Get it out on Blu-ray, please.
Oh yeah, it's such a big following too.
Yeah, it really deserves it. Okay, on December 6th, At Play in the Fields of the Lord came out.
I didn't watch that one.
No, I didn't watch that one either. It's like this long missionaries movie, but if you're in the mood, we're watching a 3-hour plus movie about missionaries in the jungles of South America, and possibly seeing some of the cast members naked, like Daryl Hannah and Kathy Bates and a few others. It's the movie for you. It's a good cast. Tom Berenger, John Lithgow, Daryl Hannah, Aidan Quinn, Tom Waits, Kathy Bates, but I didn't watch it. So Convicts came out. December came out. You watched this one, right?
I did. Yeah, it was
Pearl Harbor movie. What was it about?
Yeah, it's like an all boys school, and there's this group of like guys in a dorm, and Pearl Harbor has just happened, and they're kind of debating about the war, and like one kid wants to go off to war, and then the other one, played by Will Wheaton's, kind of trying to convince everyone not to go. And yeah, it was like a very nice, well written, well acted, small scale film with Will Wheaton is a great actor. I thought Brian Krause was extraordinarily attractive in the film, so that helps. And it takes place at, I think it was Wells, maybe you're familiar with this college, Wells College, in somewhere in upstate New York. It was like a very snowy setting. I happened to watch it on the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. And I actually reached out to the director, who is a really nice guy. He's on Instagram. Gabe Torres, I think is his name. And I don't think he made too many other films besides this one. I feel like we've seen that a lot this year. Like there's been a lot of directors that have made like just 1 or 2 films, and they're kind of like these hidden gems that maybe just didn't get a lot of love when they came out. But yeah, it was a pretty good film. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Kafka, the Soderbergh Kafka movie came out, which I didn't see at the time, but I remember watching it on home video at some point. And yeah, it's one of those mind fuck movies. I remember liking it, but not enough to revisit it.
Okay. I haven't seen it, but I love Steven Soderbergh.
I do
So.
too, and it was like Steven Soderbergh and a writer that he worked a lot with at the time, Lem Dobbs. They did Limey together and a few others. And it's got like, Jeremy Irons, Teresa Russell, Joel Grey, Ian Holmes. So a lot of good people. Al Guinness. There's a lot of good people in it, but I wasn't in the mood. I haven't been in the mood to watch that one.
Yeah.
But I should rewatch it at some point. I do like Soderbergh a lot. Let Him Have It, which is a British gangster movie. I know I've seen that movie. And it's a good movie, but it's been a while. I do like Peter Madoc's films a lot. I think he's a good director. He did The Craze as well, another British gangster movie. So yeah, I would like to see this one again.
He did The Changeling?
Changeling, yes, that's a good movie.
Wow, okay.
This was like this is the Let Him Have It's a 50s kind of drama about a murder trial. So it's kind of heavy duty movie, so I just need to be in the mood to watch it.
Right.
Here is a TV spot from a movie I want to see in the theater.
I offer a toast, the undiscovered country.
In celebration of a vision of the future, filled with adventure and the unknown. Heroes and hope.
Kirk, Enterprise.
Paramount proudly presents the final mission of the crew of the Starship Enterprise.
Fire.
Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Rated PG. Starts Friday, December 6th at a theater near you.
Okay, that's Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Saw this at the Lowe's Oriental Theater on the big screen. This was like a highly anticipated movie for the Christmas release, because it promised to be the last movie featuring the original cast of Star Trek. So kind of like their bidding goodbye kind of movie. I guess that turned out to be the case for Leonard Nimoy and DeForest Kelley and a few others, but William Shatner went on to be in a couple of the other ones.
Right.
So kind of like their send-off movie. Klingons, bad guys in space. It's like more of the same in to some degree, but I think fans like this one a lot. I'm not the right person to talk about this movie because I saw it at theater and liked it, but I wasn't like blown away by it as the fans are. I'm wondering, like, I know people really like it. I'm wondering if it was more of a response to part 5, which a lot of fans didn't like. That's the one where like the casts go like something about God, right? Where like the origin of like they like God trying to meet God or something. Like the bad guys trying to meet God. In Star Trek 5. And then like they kind of go on that kind of journey, whatever. And I guess it was met with a lot of disapproval by fans. And so I guess they were highly anticipating the 6th one because it's probably a return to like they got the same directors, part 2, which is like a fan favorite for a lot of people, and it's kind of like a murder mystery in space kind of thing. I remember watching it but kind of forgetting about it. I rewatched it recently. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about this one. It's kind of that. It is the murder mystery in space thing. But I thought it was kind of cheesy. Now, I like Star Trek movies. I like the first 4 Star Trek movies a lot. I like that they're trying to have big ideas about. It's like they're very different from Star Wars movies, right? Which are just really generally about like kind of mindless battles or whatever. Here they had some big ideas. Even part 5 had some big ideas, and I'm fine with that. This one, I don't know, kind of feels like a little bit like it's going through the motions. It has some good direction. It's got good actors in it. I think Kim Cattrall is actually really good in this movie. I think she's the standout cast member in this movie. So worth seeing for her. But I don't know. There's a lot of like things of like scenes of like William Shatner and DeForest Kelly, and like Amon in like this ice place in space. I don't know. It's like there's like a lot of imprisonment. Like it's kind of like a prison movie. Like them trying to get out of that. I don't know. It felt a little bogged down by a lot of that, and I just kind of. And then meanwhile on the ship, there's like they're trying to solve like a murder thing going on, and I don't know. I just kind of like wasn't that into it. And then on top of all this, you have a bad guy, and the bad guy's a Klingon and played by Christopher Plummer.
Oh, okay.
Now, Christopher Plummer is an amazing actor. We all know and love. He's playing a Klingon named Chang. So is he Asian? Maybe. Problematic, yes. I think he might be something Asian. I don't know. I don't know why he's named Chang.
Okay.
But the thing with his character is, this is it. He talks almost exclusively in Shakespearean.
Yikes.
So Christopher Plummer is playing this role like he's in some crazy Shakespeare play. And I don't know, I just thought it was fucking hilarious.
It sounds funny.
I'm like, but I don't think it's meant to be funny though. I think it's meant to be serious, which is like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing. He's actually going there and they're letting him, and it's like, okay, and it's fine.
I would love to see that and Jessica Lange's Tennessee Williams performance, like together.
Oh my God, yes. That would be amazing. Someone cut together Christopher Plummer in Star Trek 6 and Jessica Lange. It's kind of quite a pairing. It's like he's so like Shakespeare that at the end when he's gonna get blown up because the typical space like guy who's like the bad guy and they get blown up in the end. He's like, to be or not, boom.
Oh my God.
It's so ridiculous.
But God, I think that made me laugh. That's so great.
But like I said, like Star Trek fans love it. Like, I think it's one of the better ones or whatever. So I mean, more power to you. I get it.
Yeah. I mean,
it is like I said, a very well made movie. So besides some of those questionable things.
Jesus.
It's something. November 11th. We both watched this movie, this direct-to-video movie. Don't know why. Critters 3.
Oh man, we're December 11th, right?
Yeah, December 11th. Why do we spend our time watching Critters 3? Can you tell me?
It's like, I kind of like Critters too. That's the one that's set at Easter time.
Yeah, I think Critters 2 is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, Critters 3, and there's Leo is in it. So I'm like, oh, this can't be that bad, but
it's got a DiCaprio in it.
Yeah. It kind of just lost interest.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah. But I like Critter. Like, I want a Critter, like, I don't know. Can they go to like the Republican convention in a movie or something? That would be fun.
Seriously, right?
I think we need another Critters reboot or something.
Yeah, I don't know. The first 2 Critters movies, I'm there, but the last 2, no. And I wanted this to be good. It was directed by Christine Peterson, a female director. I just kind of wanted. I was kind of rooting for it, but then quickly, like, no, it's lost me. Especially when it introduces that really annoying character. No. On December 13th, healthy lineup of movies. Here is the first one. Here's a TV spot.
I am talking about the single best idea I ever had.
Warren Beatty.
Las Vegas.
Annette Bening,
Use your imagination.
Harvey Keitel, Ben Kingsley,
There's a little matter we have to discuss.
and Joe Mantegna.
No woman's worth a bullet between the eyes. It depends on whose eyes and which woman.
Bugsy.
God won't be able to bail you out of this one.
That's the way I like it.
Rated R. Starts December 13th in select cities. Opens nationwide December 20th.
Okay, that's Bugsy. The Barry Levinson film starring Warren Beatty as Bugsy Siegel. Sorry, Benny Siegel. Don't shoot me.
Oh yeah, be careful.
So yeah, the infamous gangster who kind of made Las Vegas what it is, right? With his big ideas about what Las Vegas could be. And with the Flamingo Hotel, and traces that and his relationship with a woman played by Annette Bening, and their relationship, they're kind of sort of hostile, kind of hot, on again, off again, hostile relationship. But I saw this in the theater. This is again the movie I saw along with like Last Boy Scout, Father of the Bride, Adam's Family, A Big Day. I remember it standing out to me. I thought it was really well made movie about a gangster, a lot of good people in it, just like it just was like really well done, well shot. So I just remember thinking in the theater, oh wow, this movie is beautifully like shot. Like the whoever the cinematographer was, I didn't quite pick up on the names back then yet.
Yeah,
like whoever did this is like really does a really good job. And then later on I went, oh yeah, it's Alan DeVoe, who the guy who did E.T. and like a lot of like
Color Purple. Yeah.
So really beautifully made movies, and he's really like a great point of view. He sadly died last year, I think to COVID.
I didn't know that.
Which is really unfortunate because he was really talented.
Yeah.
So Bugsy, just so well done, and like revisiting it because I hadn't seen it in a long time. It's like one of those movies, one of these 91 movies that I liked a lot, but just didn't watch that much. And just like what I thought it was. Like it just really beautifully made, good actors doing a good job, and it's like a big lavish production, and you see like all that money up on the screen. It's like one of those movies where they spend a lot of money and like you're like, oh, it looks like crap. This one actually really is like,
oh my God, yeah.
It's like some of the couple of the other ones we mentioned today, like how like Billy Backett, like really put together pretty well, like just done well. And just so you can see the budget on the screen, and I'm a fan of it. I thought again, I got caught up in it. It's not like a super deep story. It's like you kind of you get the story pretty quickly, like establishes his characters pretty quickly, and you kind of know who they are. Like Bugsy Siegel, pretty early on in the film, like you get who he is. But then then the complications and almost like screwball kind of complications in some parts. It's fun to watch, and it's just well done by Barry Levinson as a filmmaker.
It's so weird because like on paper this seems like a movie I'd be like totally bored by,
right? Because like biopic.
It's just, and I don't know, I feel like a lot of people didn't really like this movie that much when it came out, like people around my age and stuff. Like this isn't the movie that they're like, oh, I love Bugsy. But
right.
But I just found it so captivating, and like what you said about the photography, I was just struck, like the use of the lighting in particular. I was like, they took like really good care of like the lighting, and like every shot is like perfectly lit in this like specific way. And I'm like, you just don't see that anymore because things are shot digitally, and
right.
It's just like there's certain films of the 90s where they just took really good care of like everything.
That's true.
So I was just like really into it, and of course like the end where you kind of see like Las Vegas, like it's hard to believe, like it's like, oh yeah, how did Las Vegas start? And that final shot of like what it looks like now, or you know, in current times compared to what he was trying to start. I think it's like so fascinating. So I'm into it.
Yeah, it's definitely that's even could even open the door to like another kind of movie about Las Vegas, like what Las Vegas was then and what it is now.
And the journey to get there is like pretty entertaining.
I agree.
Does this not have a Blu-ray site?
No, it strangely doesn't. It's only on DVD, and like, which is kind of insane since it's like it's all about how it looks, and it's not presented well on video, which is strange. It's just a big Columbia movie.
I really like his other movie, Liberty Heights, which we talked about on 1989 podcast, and I don't think that's gotten a Blu-ray release either.
I don't think so. Yeah,
but again, it's like such a beautifully shot, like mounted film that it's. I don't know.
Sad. And also Morricone did the score for Bugsy. Like, wow,
great score.
Great score.
Annette Bening is pretty great in it too.
Oh yeah, she's definitely a standout.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I like Warren Beatty. I mean, I think he's good, but I think a lot of people could have probably played that role. And it would have been fine. But I think Annette Bening is a really good match. You can see why they became a couple because they're, they have good chemistry too.
Yeah. There's something about like his vanity as a character, and like you can kind of see it with Warren Beatty too. You know what I mean? Like it kind of overlaps. It kind of works. It's great.
This is my second favorite Warren Beatty performance of 1991. My first being do you know what?
Wait, what is it?
Madonna, Truth or Dare.
Oh, yeah. That also your favorite Kevin Costner performance, 1991.
Exactly. It was real neat. So yeah, you could see like this also traces like 91 traces his relationships, right? From Madonna to Annette Bening.
Amazing, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. Also on December 13th, a very big movie, Hook. Steven Spielberg's Hook came out. Yes. So this was like the big family option for December. I went to see it. I played for the block from where I lived. And to be honest, I was underwhelmed when I went to see this in the theater. Yeah. I don't know. I just felt like I wanted more. I don't know if something, I wasn't quite getting what I expected. I like Dustin Hoffman. I like Robin Williams. I like those two people a lot. And then to get to see them play off of each other was a fun prospect, but I just wasn't that into the movie. I just felt like this is odd for like Spielberg, because Spielberg's so good at productions. We were talking about him seemingly a lot today. I don't know, when it gets to like the stuff where it's where it's the Lost Boys, it just feels like I'm watching a movie on a set.
Oh yeah,
it feels like it's going back to like, I don't know, like its beginnings as a story and maybe on a stage play, like James play. Like a big budgeted set movie. That's what it kind of felt like at the time. I've warmed up to it a little more over the years. I like Bob Hoskins in it, a couple people in it, but I don't know. It's not quite. It just quite misses the mark for me as a movie. I wasn't really that into being into the story. I was never a big Peter Pan guy. Maybe that's what it is. I think you have to be like, even in the Disney animated movie, I was like, no, that wasn't my thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
so maybe that's it. Its root is obviously Peter Pan. So I just and there's been so many like versions of the story. They continue. I feel like they do like a Peter Pan movie every 2 years of some kind, and they call it Pan, they call it Hook. They call it different things.
Yeah, there's another one coming by some director I like too. Oh, it might be Jason Reitman or somebody. I don't know. I think he's doing a Peter Pan movie. So
Oh boy.
there's more to come.
Peter Pan and Wendy. David Lowery is directing it.
That's who it was. Yeah.
He did The Green Knight.
Yes. Maybe it's an age thing because when I was 11, I saw this 5 times.
Oh wow!
I
had a feeling because I feel like this is like definitely a movie for kids at that time. Like this would have been like their big movie. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was very exciting as like an 11-year-old. Or I don't even know if it was exciting. It was just like something I wanted to watch over and over and experience over and over.
Yeah.
But it's not like not like movies that I watched a lot as a kid that I return to much anymore.
Right.
I think it was just at that time. But yeah, like now I can see how you would feel a little disconnected from it.
I have the Blu-ray. I think I might have tried to show the kids at one point and they weren't that into it. But maybe a couple of years ago, so maybe maybe I'll reintroduce it to them and see how well it goes. But I have a feeling they're also not that into Peter Pan. So I don't know what happened there in the Ferrari DNA. Peter Pan's not the thing, but we'll see. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted.
I was also really into John Williams, so I was into the music and all that stuff.
I mean, he always hires like great people. And we're just talking about Alan DeVoe and like, John Williams. So you're gonna get some good elements, even if you don't like the movies like as much. Like you're gonna get some like some good cinematography. You're gonna get some good music and so on. So
Maggie Smith, she does a good job.
I can't remember. Trying to remember now her in the movie, but okay, I remember now.
She's kind of always looked the same, like since Hook, I feel like.
That's true. Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, if you think about like when talk about teacher movies soon, and like she did the prime of Miss Jean Brody. That was like in the late 60s. She kind of looked old.
Yeah.
So let's see. Oh yeah, Julia Roberts is Tinkerbell. I also didn't quite like her in that movie, but
she got a Razzie nomination, unfortunately.
I do feel bad when actors get Razzies, but Sleeping with the Enemy is definitely my preferred.
Was that the same year? Is this
not only is it Hook, Sleeping with the Enemy, it's also Dying Young. This is like a big year for Julia Roberts because she's hot off of Pretty Woman, so she did like 3 movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely prefer Sleeping with the Enemy. It's my Julia Roberts movie in 91. Okay, our next movie, here's a TV spot.
He's a private detective who's run out of luck. He's an ex-quarterback who was thrown from the game. They were trying to clean up their act when they got dragged into the dirty world of gridiron corruption. Now they've got one shot to get the goods on the bad guys if they don't kill each other first.
What am I gonna do? Point at the bad guys and shoot!
Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans, The Last Boy Scout. Rated R. Starts Friday, December 13th at a theater near you.
And rounding out that, well, not quite there. The third of the fourth movies that I watched that day, The Last Boy Scout. Tony Scott directed, Shane Black written buddy movie option for 1991. I enjoyed it when it came out. It's like a football action movie, cop movie. They got to pair together to solve like some murders. Like Damon Wayans is the football guy. His girlfriend gets killed, and then there's corruption. There's like stuff going on with the football team, and then it's up to Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans to solve everything and save the day.
Gosh.
It was entertaining at the time. I definitely enjoyed it. And when we talked about top 10 lists. I see noticed it made some top 10 lists, so I'll tread lightly. I rewatched it recently.
How is Danielle Harris in it? Like, is she like memorable in that?
She's definitely memorable in the movie, but for the wrong reasons.
Oh no.
It's not her fault, though. It's not her fault.
Okay. Yeah.
This movie, rewatching it recently, is totally misogynistic. Women are treated really poorly in this movie from top to bottom, including Daniel Harris's character, who plays his Bruce Willis's foul-mouthed daughter. I don't know. I feel like I don't know what the writers and directors were like, why the focus was so much on like treating women like shit in this movie, but that's what you get with The Last Boy Scout, and I was kind of quite surprised by it. I know we live in more sensitive times, but even if we weren't, I mean, I don't know. I'd feel pretty icky about the way women are treated. Like they're either killed, or there's like kind of like the mom characters like cheating on them, and like there's like lots of like, I don't know, just like the dialogue is very like just kind of just made me feel kind of terrible about the female characters.
Oh no.
So I was kind of upset with that. It was hard for me to get into the movie because the movie is entertaining, and it's like it's like the the dumb hijinks of like the two guys and like solving this crime, and I've said it with again the backdrop of football, professional football. So that part is fun, I guess, but I don't know. I couldn't get into it this time because of that. Because of like every female character is portrayed kind of badly. I'm like, why? Like, could you at least like have some people that are like, okay, like some female, like some of the women characters, can they be strong and independent and not like beat up or shot or just be jerks?
Like a Joanna Cassidy needed to step in and be a character.
Yeah, like you could compare this to like Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, which feels like a feminist film in comparison. So it's like, I mean, I want that instead of this.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad. This was a very popular film, though, right? Like
it was a very popular film, and
yeah.
I think it's a fondly remembered film. And so, and no offense to any of its fans, I just don't think this one holds up well. Just did not do it for me, at least.
And Shane Black wrote this,
and it's a Shane Black script, and you can feel the Shane Blackness of it all. And I like Shane Black. I think he does good buddy movies, but I think this one, unfortunately, is at the expense of all the female characters, when it could have easily not been. And now Shane Black sort of made up for that with The Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis, who's a very strong female character, and she's great. She's fucking badass in that movie. I love her in that movie. But here, unfortunately, there are no female actors representing in a positive way. So I just thought that was, unfortunate. Halle Berry is in it, and
it's not as good as Strictly Business.
No, it's
for
good
Halle
Strictly
Berry.
Business. Nope, sorry.
Because I know she's like, okay, she's objectified in Strictly Business, but she's also awesome.
Right. Here she's objectified and then killed. So it's like, that's just like, that's not fun. That's not fun to watch. Sorry.
No, I like Halle Berry to live through her films.
Yes. And then last one, December 13th, is Pizza Man.
What's Pizza Man? I don't know this one.
What is Pizza Man? I don't know what Pizza Man is. Let's look it up, because I did not catch this movie at all. Like it was on my list. Like, what is Pizza Man? Pizza Man. Okay, it's a Bill Maher movie. The plot is a pizza man is on his quest to get $15.23 when someone orders one, and covers a plot to rule the world and stops at nothing to get his pay. Okay.
Wow. Pizza Man. 87 minutes.
Bill Maher. This is written and directed by J.F. Lawton, who wrote Pretty Women. He got to do this movie. He also did Cannibal Woman in the Avocado Jungle of Death, which I think is actually a fun movie. But So maybe
Pizza Man might be kind of fun.
I mean, maybe I need to watch Pizza Man.
Yeah.
He did write some fun movies like Under Siege. Okay. Moving on. On December 18th, premiering on the USA channel. You know, I like me a good USA movie in the early 90s. Here is this one.
Some cats act like they own the house. Some do. Timothy Busfield. Kathleen Quinlan. Strays. Wednesday, December 18th at 9.
Strays.
Well, that was a good sound effects. That's impressive.
I have a cat, so I get to hear it. Actually, my cat is like almost a silent cat. He never cries, never does, never hear him. So Strays is a movie about a family. They move to this, you know, house, a new house, and they get some cats. They're one of those cats there already, and then they take them in, and then things go wrong.
These are like not nice cats.
No, it's a catastrophe. Pardon the pun. Couldn't resist it. It's Timothy Busfield and Kathleen Quinlan. Kathleen Quinlan was kind of like a staple of these kind of USA movies in the early 90s. And they played the couple. Claudia Christian's in there. She's very memorable in this movie. It was written by Sean Cassidy. Yes, the Sean Cassidy.
Yeah, I had to like blink a few times when I saw that name just to make sure it was the same person.
The Hardy Boy himself, Sean Cassidy. You know,
That's
he wrote this movie. You know, he had like a thing about horror, I guess, because he created that American Gothic series. Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
With Gary Cole. Like that was his show. He created that show. So I guess he had a horror thing, which is cool. So he wrote this fun USA movie about people being terrorized by cats. And boy, are they terrorizing.
They are. They're very lifelike.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy with how crazy they get. And then the cat eye view.
Yeah, it's I think I was reading about like the camera work and how they use like handheld cameras to like get that cat vision feel, and it works.
It works. I definitely agree. Both of us love these kinds of movies. We love like the animal terror movies and you know, cats. It can be potentially silly, and I guess it is silly, but it's silly in the best way. It's still a lot of fun. I think it's
I like how they play it so straight, so it's not tongue in cheek, which I appreciate. I like it.
I mean, they buy this house, right? It's like they buy this house like sight unseen or something. I can't remember now, but it's like they can really get themselves into debt, and then these cats like really fuck with their lives and like just makes it so much worse. It's just like I feel bad for them, and like I kind of got into it. Like I kind of like buy into it in a weird way.
As an adult, you're like, oh, I can relate to this story. What would I do?
Exactly. I enjoy this one. I'm glad you watched it because I feel like
I'm glad I watched it too. I don't know if I saw it. I don't think I did though, because I feel like I would have remembered this one, but I do remember being aware of it because I was always into animal attack movies as a kid. So, but yeah, it's pretty great.
I like that USA channel this time period. They knew that what was really heartwarming for Christmas time was to watch a movie about killer cats. Get the whole family around the cable, about your basic cable to watch a movie about killer cats.
Oh my gosh.
I love that.
The variety of this year, it's astounding.
It is. Another heartwarming family movie on December 20th. Here's a TV spot.
From Touchstone Pictures, behind every beautiful bride-to-be stands a calm, relaxed father. A father who's just not ready to let his daughter go. Steve Martin, Father of the Bride, rated PG. Starts Friday, December 20th at a theater near you.
Yes, Father of the Bride. I wasn't trying to be ironic. It really is heartwarming. Yeah. So yeah, this is the last one. That was a busy day, man. This one really stuck out. I immediately loved this movie when it came out. I love me a Touchstone movie, a Touchstone of the 90s, the early 90s. They were getting, guess, less rare and like in like the quality. Like there were definitely some good ones. I think we watched Deceived earlier this year and a few others. And then the Hollywood Pictures, their other division, Disney's other division moving in on Touchstone.
Yeah.
They were still making really good. This is their big hit of the year. Of course, the remake of the Spencer Tracy, Elizabeth Taylor movie of the 50s about a dad who quite can't deal with his daughter getting married. Here, Steve Martin, of course, playing that role. Diane Keaton is his wife. Martin Short is the wedding planner. It was so popular that it spawned a sequel, which I think is enjoyable as well. It just it's really reaches, I don't know, expertly for the emotions and the laughs, and I just I think this is kind of like a perfect package of that. This movie, it just really stays with me. I watched it a lot over the years. This is probably one of the more watched movies in 91 for me. I found it very, very comforting. It has all those qualities of like a Nancy Meyers movie.
Yes.
That's, they're very comforting. Of course, usually these families are kind of like well-to-do, but upper middle class, or they're just like, it's cozy, it's just well made. I think this was directed by Charles Shire, but it feels like, this is where Nancy Meyers probably has had more. She's working with her husband on it, but I feel like it was becoming more. You can see where Nancy Meyers would be the director soon, because it's feeling more and more like her. And it's just really that cozy, lived in, like Touchstone feel. And Martin Short is really fucking hilarious. He shows up. Dan Keaton and Steve Martin just play well together. I think they're really good. Their son is Kieran Culkin, who's having his moment now on his show Succession, which honestly I can't get into that show. I want to.
I'm the same, actually.
Every time I try to watch it, I'm like, these people are terrible. It's hard for me to watch the show.
I feel the same. It's like, I don't know. And
there's also something inside baseball about it, and like it's going over my head a little bit. I'm like, what are they talking about, and why are they being so terrible when they talk about it? Kimberly Williams is adorable as a daughter, and just well done from beginning to end, and like just the laughs. It's very funny from beginning to end, but heartwarming in the right places. And yeah, it's a big bowl of warmth for me as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember liking it, and I do remember the phenomenon of it as well.
Yeah, it just has that quality that you could see why I would connect to a larger audience, because there's laughs, there's drama, there's all those things in there. Steve Martin's really funny. I like him. And this is his second big movie of 91 with third. He has three. This one, LA Story, which obviously I love, and then a third one coming up. All right. Here is our High Heels came out, the Almodovar movie, which I started watching, but I didn't get a chance to finish. Almodovar makes beautifully vibrant and engrossing stories of and we do talk about the lack of female representation, the good positive female representation in Last Boy Scout. Here, no shortage in Almodovar's films, and that's refreshing, especially.
Yeah, I have to see this one. I like his movies a lot, but I haven't seen this one yet, but I would like to.
Yeah, what I rewatched of it, I remember liking this movie, but when I watched it to get a little refresher, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely a good film. About a young girl who kind of her relationship with mom is quite complicated, and it traces that. And of course, who better to make those kinds of movies than Almodovar, right?
Exactly.
Okay, a TV spot for the big Christmas movie. Here it is.
From the shadow of a doubt
Who would leave a path as big as Lee Harvey Oswald?
to the darkest suspicions,
Nobody's gonna tell me that kid did the shooting job he did from that damn bookstore.
one man would make a dangerous journey
Don't you think the Kennedy assassination's a little bit out of your domain?
looking for the truth.
Oswald's been shot.
Kevin Costner in an Oliver Stone film.
Nothing is going to keep me from my investigation of John Kennedy's murder.
JFK, rated R, starts Friday, December 20th at a theater near you.
Okay, that's JFK, Oliver Stone's not quite biopic.
No.
As you would lead to believe, JFK, we're going to watch a biopic about JFK. But no, it's really about the assassination and the aftermath and the trial and the conspiracies, of course, of that situation. And I saw this in the theater. Again, it was like another big day of movies. It was
There's
JFK.
a lot out. There's like so much out in these months.
I know. So I kind of we watched all like four, try to squeeze four in one day. It was JFK, Prince of Tides, Star Trek 6. I feel like we watched that again. I remember that was some of that was in there, and Grand Canyon, the other Steve Martin. Well, he has a smaller role in it. So watching it, I'm like, okay, this is a movie I'm gonna this is the one I can sleep during. When we get to the other ones. A lot of grown-up movies, thinking about it now. Oh my God.
Right?
Watching this and my younger sister, I got to ask her, what did we think of that day we went to go see JFK and Prince of Tides and Grand Canyon? Were you bored?
It kind of bums me out that Hollywood does not make these kinds of movies anymore. These large scale adult dramas. That's or comedies like Father of the Bride. I don't even feel like exists anymore. It's so sad.
I know. It's just kind of I don't be too depressed. It was nice having it at the time, and definitely should have appreciated it more. But yeah, I feel like we took advantage of it. We watched a lot of movies, and definitely, I kind of I am curious. I should ask her what was it like seeing all these grown-up movies at the time. What was her experience? I know for me, it was definitely eye-opening, and just I got to experience all these other stories, and grown-up stories, which was nice because I appreciated that at the time. And JFK was definitely that movie, and I remember being into it, and I don't know if I was bored because it was kind of a long movie.
It's 3 hours, I think, right?
Right. It was in theaters. It was 3 hours, and then the director's cut on home video was 3.5 hours.
Okay.
So for a long time, it took me a while to revisit this movie because it's so long. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
I revisited it recently in the director's cut, the 3.5 hour version. And man, it isn't a long movie. It took me 3 sittings.
Yeah.
It took me 3 sittings to sit through all of JFK. And, I find it rewarding, though. It is a really good film. It's really well done by Oliver Stone and his DP Richardson. It's just so well shot, and a lot of energy to it, and he was taking chances with the narrative and taking chances with how what movies can do, and just not conventional, not totally conventional, but made within the studio framework, which is kind of nice. That's what Stone was doing at the time, and he did Doors earlier the year, and that's kind of what that was. Slightly more accessible than this one, but I think this one crossed over, and this one did really well, and it got a bunch of awards and award nominations. And I can see why, because
editing is crazy in this movie.
Yeah, see why I would have won Best Editing.
Yeah,
and
it's
Robert
pretty.
Richardson won. Yeah,
I know. It's like I watched it for this podcast, and I hadn't seen it in a while, and I just find it so captivating. Like, I think it's just the way it's constructed. It's hard to like look away. Like it's just you're just like sucked into it.
Right.
It just keeps moving, and
that's why it took me 3 sittings, because I stopped it. I'm like, okay, I'm tired, but I want to keep going, and I stopped.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to miss like what was going to happen next, because
I totally get it. Yeah, and I think because the cast, like, you keep seeing these like familiar stars that kind of pop up, like John Candy all of a sudden is there, and like,
right.
And you're like, who? And there's all these eccentric characters, like Tommy Lee Jones's character, Kevin Bacon, and I don't know. I got so into it. I don't even really like think about what's fact and what's fiction. I'm more just like into the style of the movie and like how the movie's like constructed more. Does that make sense? Than like the actual like thinking about the content so much. But I can see why it's so influential, because it feels like one of the first like really big mainstream movies that's like also about like, conspiracy theories and like questioning our government and like in this like very direct way that must have been a big deal at the time.
I know Warner Brothers is probably like, whoa, what do we got here?
yeah. So yeah, I mean it's pretty great. Actually, this is a good. Actually, I like this Kevin Costner performance because
I agree.
Dang, that like final the final speech he gives is like really long. He says a lot, and I know it was probably like edited up quite a bit, but that couldn't have been an easy monologue to do, and I think he does a good job. And I think Sissy Spacek is actually really good as his wife, because she kind of has this strength about her that could have been really bland if somebody else played it. But I think she works well in it.
I think she does. Yeah, it's well cast, like all around, and just well done. Just even like little things like the way the light reflects off of Gloucester's glasses all the time. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
the way that Richardson shot that. I was like, usually like people don't shoot glasses because of that, the reflections, but I think they did it in a way that was like kind of cool.
Yeah. Laurie Metcalf.
Yeah, she's really good. Yeah,
always be in things.
Yeah. If there's a movie like where it's like a team of people, I always include her.
Yeah.
Include her in your team, because she's great. Rhapsody in August, the Kurosawa film, came out on the same day. Rush, the drug film starring Jason Patrick and Jennifer Jason Leigh. And I did rewatch this movie because I remember liking this movie a good deal back in the day. Back in the day in 1991 or 1992 when I saw it, because I didn't see this until like home video. I watched it and man, was I fucking bummed out.
Is it tough?
It's a tough bummer of a movie, I gotta be honest. I thought it was good, but it's well directed. It's like very well done. Lily Finney Zanuck. So a female director, really strong, point of view. I liked her direction, but I thought the movie was like very depressing. It's also a period piece, 70s. Again, we got a lot of these like 70s movies
and period pieces. 70s movies.
And it does a good job at doing the period thing. I felt like everyone felt fairly authentic to the time. It's gritty, but it's also a drug movie. I think finding drug movies is often hard to watch. Generally, watching people, these are undercover cops, and then like start getting getting into that world of drugs, and you can see how it takes a toll on them, and then eventually they get hooked, and then like the relationship between the two characters and how they kind of like meet each other, and it's very heavy duty. And I definitely at the time when I rewatched it, I wasn't kind of in the mood, so I was kind of forcing myself to watch it. But at the same time, like, everyone's doing a great job. I mean, Jason Patrick's good. He's a little like slightly. He looks the part, but something a little bit like look at me, I'm acting, just a little bit. But Jennifer Jason Leigh is pitch perfect. I think she's playing kind of like a fresh-faced right out of the academy, like in a Silence of the Lambs kind of way character, and then she goes undercover in this world with Jason Patrick, and that kind of like goes, whether that's gonna go. And Sam Elliott's kind of like their boss. When he shows up, he's great. Greg Allman, the Allman Brothers, he's a bad guy. But William Sadler is the drug dealer. He's kind of creepy in it. It's good people. It's like I said, good cast. Attention to details, good. It feels real. And I just thought it was maybe just a little too like it needed a little more levity. A little more of a balance of levity so I can maybe make it a little more watchable. But other than that, maybe when I'm in the mood to watch a drug movie, I'll throw on Rush. It's like on HBO Max currently, streaming for those who have a streaming device.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, it seems like a really tough like release date for this film. It seems like just so crowded with big movies,
Yeah, I think often movies were being released, at the end of the year for awards, kind of consideration. I don't think Jason Patrick was quite deserving of an award, and he didn't get it nominated. But I think there's definitely some merit here in the performances, and certainly Jennifer Jason Leigh, who was an actress, I think gives her all, and she really, you see her. She really gives herself over to these characters and becomes these people. And I've just always behind her when I see her and stuff. I think she's just great.
Yeah, I would like to see it just to see her in it.
And it's funny how she's kind of like the character. She's usually the person who's like the most fucked up person in the movie. Here she has to be, play the voice of reason, which is unusual.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, which is nice. And then Ted and Venus, a kind of a romantic comedy of sorts with Bud Cort. It's an unusual movie. Came out, and it has some weird things in it. It's like a guy who's obsessed with some woman who he's like clearly out of his league. And then but he becomes like a stoner buddy movie in a way with James Brolin and Bud Cort. James Brolin's quite a character in this movie. He's kind of funny. He's wearing like tunic, and at some point he has gray shaggy hair in it. He's kind of fun to watch this movie. It's also one of those movies where like people like pop up every once in a while, like, oh, like it's like Carol Kane. Oh, it's Woody Harrelson. No, it's like Timothy Leary.
Whoa! Oh, Cassandra Peterson.
It's like definitely. It's like one of those movies. It's like, oh, every once in a while, Gina Rollins. Why is she in this movie? Say what now? It was directed by Bud Cort. I mean, that's why. He's like calling his friends. So written and directed by Bud Cort. It's a very strange movie. It's streaming maybe somewhere. It's on YouTube or something. But there's also a DVD. It's an unusual one, but I like it for what it is. It's like a little weird little movie, like Bud Cort herself. And then going into our last week of December, this is a TV spot for our first one.
Gene Shalit of the Today Show says fried green tomatoes stirs the emotions with unforgettable characters. Every performance is splendid. It's a movie to remember with pleasure for a long, long time.
I was waiting for that face. Face it, lady, we're younger and faster.
Us Magazine calls it touching and funny.
What are you doing?
Face it, girls. I'm older and I have more insurance.
Kathy Bates, Jessica Tandy, Fried Green Tomatoes, rated PG-13, now playing in select areas. Starts Friday everywhere.
Okay, that's Fried Green Tomatoes. Now this got like a very limited release at the end of December. like a New York, LA kind of thing, and then it opened wider. I remember I saw it in '92 in January or so, and I remember seeing it there with a couple other, or maybe one or two other movies. But I remember watching it. It was mostly a movie that my grandmother and my sister would watch. It's like, it's like it is like the quote unquote chick flick option of the time. We're like Thelma and Louise was that in the summer, and this is the Christmas option. But when I watched it, I immediately fell in hard like for it. Wasn't quite in love yet, but I really liked it.
Yes.
I thought it was really good, like really well done. Of course, the performances by its, I guess, 4 lead actresses are pretty great. And I was really into it. I mean, Kathy Bates, could she do no wrong?
She was so funny in it too.
She's really funny in it.
There's great moments.
And then you got
parking lot moment is like a classic moment.
It's so good.
Yeah, I remember liking this a lot too. I mean, I think growing up in the South is just like you recognize this kind of those characters, and you're right. Like all those performances really make it work. Like it does pretty ambitious time jumping.
Yeah.
But I feel like it kind of holds together with maybe because the cast is so good.
It's that device of storytelling too, right? Like just telling, just calling a story and telling it to Kathy. Jessica Tandy. We're telling a story about her youth to Kathy Bates, and of course she's very intrigued by it. She wants to know more, and so we see the story unfold in these flashbacks, and then of course how those flashbacks affect the current time. It's just I don't know, it seems so effortlessly done like that. Like usually those kinds of flashback heavy movies are a problem for me.
For the Boys is one.
This is definitely a big
yeah
exhibit A. But it's done really, really well here. And it's like, again, the actresses, like the two three name Marys, Mary Louise Parker and Mary Stuart Masterson are really good together.
Oh, I love them. Yeah.
And then just everyone, just it's great, and you buy it. You feel like the atmosphere feels real, feels like they're really capturing that time and place in a good way. It's a big studio movie and it has that sheen to it, but they did a good job at making it convincing of the same. And I get caught up in it. It's one of my wife's favorite movies, and so we rewatched it together, and I just fell, I move up from like to loving it. So I'm glad I can.
It's like one of those. Yeah, it's like one of those movies. Like if it's on, you just kind of get sucked into it, and like it's just so comforting in a way.
It is, yeah. This is a movie that it has some darkish things in it, but it's always, it has a good balance. Like I mentioned, like Rush is like very serious and has no levity. Here, this one there's a good amount of like serious and levity, so it's a good balance to me. And
I guess it doesn't like. I guess it kind of glosses over like the lesbianism. I understand, but
if I'm going to critique something about this movie, that is an issue. Yeah, it could have been more bold, but I don't think I don't know, there was something holding it back, probably because it was a studio movie at the time, and they could have made it more clear. that Mary Stuart Masterson's character was in love with Mary Louise Parker. I mean, to me, you see it in the performances.
Yeah.
But it's not uttered at all in the dialogue or in the script. So, but through the performances, you definitely understand it, which is a testament to the actors for conveying that, even though knowing they probably weren't able to say it,
Right. I still think it's a really entertaining and good movie for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a highlight for this time. And then another one, TV spot. Here it is.
What you so nervous about, man? Which one of you called for the truck?
Me, that was me. I think maybe you saved my life.
Man, you are a piece of work.
I know, the white guy.
You white?
That baby needs someone to love it and take care of it.
Does it have to be you?
I believe that there's a reason I found her.
The last thing you had in mind was to start a new family with all the whining and the diapers.
Jane, are you married? Would you like to meet this guy?
I don't know, what does he look like?
How important is that?
Somewhat important. My Simon.
Say that again.
Simon.
From the director of The Big Chill,
Yes, there you go, my friend. Sometimes things work.
a story of friendship and other natural wonders.
My name's Mac. Simon.
The best film of the year, Grand Canyon.
Sneak preview Saturday, January 11th in select cities. Check local listings.
And that's Grand Canyon, the Lawrence Kasdan film. So, you know, the king of the yuppie movies.
Yeah.
Doing his early 90s movie. I don't know. I liked it immediately when I saw it. I actually went to go see in the theater I went to Manhattan. I went to see the Crown Gotham Cinema.
What was that? What was that theater?
It was in the 50s.
Okay.
I don't think it's around anymore. It's like one of those.
Never heard of that.
It's gone, right?
Yeah.
I was a big fan of The Big Chill.
Me too.
And his movies generally. I just thought, they were. It was on 57th Street, I want to say. I'm just sorry, I'm thinking of where the theater was. I remember it was like 3rd Avenue, somewhere over there on 57th Street. His films were comforting, and of course The Big Chill is a favorite of mine. So I wanted to go see it, and I was expecting kind of like more of the same. And to some degree it is that Big Chill kind of movie for the 90s, but that's the way it was sold. But it was very satisfying, because it was definitely Kasdan trying to break out of break out a little more and feature Black characters, and trying to integrate that into the story more in an organic way. Because if you're making a movie about LA, you can't just make a movie about just like rich white people. Sorry,
right?
It's just not. That's not LA. That's not how it is. You need to have all kinds of people, and he was definitely trying to make a story of the time. And of course, this is like anticipating like the things that happen in LA, like with police and being just how hard it is to be a young Black man in LA, and especially with the police, and just the constant fear of that, and of being a parent to a Black child, and there's like a constant fear of like them not coming home or something bad happening. And the movie kind of dips into that.
That's true.
But also like other things like just like there was that white guilt that Kasdan was probably definitely feeling. Absolutely. And he definitely expresses it in this movie with the characters, but also like characters who are kind of like moving on, they're becoming empty nesters, and so there's a need to fill that. And of course that's done through the Mary McDonnell character when she finds a baby, and becomes obsessed with the idea of like keeping it, and like and then like that's just kind of like it goes in interesting places with that stuff. And then Mary Louise Parker again is there as a fellow employee with Kevin Kline. I think she might works for him, right? Or works.
Yeah, she have like a crush on him.
She has a big crush on him, and I think they allude to the fact that they had an affair. But it was like a one-time thing. For her, she developed a bigger thing for him that it's never going to happen, and that kind of traces that a little bit. Alfre Woodward is a co-worker of hers. Danny Glover plays. Yeah, she's great. I love her in that. Danny Glover plays a tow truck driver who comes to the rescue of Kevin Kline when he gets lost in a really bad part of LA and gets potentially attacked by some young guys, and he saves them, and then it becomes a little bit of that. It falls into that trope, but it does it in a smart way, where it becomes more. It tries to take that story to another different place where it becomes more about a friendship. And I like that it was trying to play it for real. Instead of it being more conventional kind of thing. And there is a bit of conventional stuff in it, but there's also some realness into it, and I appreciated that. And then of course you have more of the outlandish stuff in the movie, like maybe portrayed by Steve Martin's character, who plays like a movie exec who's kind of very much like the kind of person who greenlights movies like The Last Boy Scout, where it's like mindless action movies, and then he gets kind of like a little bit of a wake-up call, but true to life may not actually wake him up fully.
Right.
There's some good ideas and some big ideas, and but it's done in a way that's very comforting and just well made from beginning to end. And I really liked the movie.
I like Mary McDonnell a lot too in it. She does a good job.
She is good in it.
Actually, the way that you describe it, it's like making me like the movie more than when I liked it, but it's like, oh yeah, you're right. Like kind of like The Big Chill, like everything kind of gets wrapped up in the end, and yet you still feel like, no, not everything's wrapped up. It's like kind of feel that here too. It's like,
yeah, there's definitely like you get these glimpses into their lives, and you kind of wonder what's going to happen next for them, because it isn't just like, it isn't completely neat. But at the same time, it feels like they're resolved in a way, and in a way that still feels satisfying as a film, because films are obviously very different from real life, and you can't expect them to feel like they can't expect them to be like these grand things that I like this movie. I think it's really just kind of well done. So to me, one of his better movies. So and then a trailer for a movie that's kind of a movie that I would have not normally known about until I give it a chance recently. Here it is.
Mickey O'Neill had it all.
Bring the ladies another bottle of champagne.
A beautiful girlfriend.
Mickey, I love you!
A popular nightclub. And a way with words.
There are those who find a kind of giving in their taking. That's me.
Whoa! Until he went too far and lost it all. Miramax Films presents Hear My Song, the story of Mickey O'Neill's magical journey to find the one man who can bring it all back.
The man went AWOL 25 years ago. You know he's not dead. God spare him. I know he's here, Fenton.
His journey will lead him into a world he never knew existed, where anything can happen.
This is the place.
And from where he might never return.
Who are you? What do you want?
I'm doing this for her! The girl I love!
How are you gonna feel if you don't go back for her, Mickey?
I've lost my money, my business, my friends!
Introducing Adrian Dunbar and Tara Fitzgerald, and starring Ned Beatty as the one man who can bring them back together.
That's Hear My Song. A movie I was sort of aware of when it came out on video. It was it had like Ned Beatty in it, a comedy with Ned Beatty, but it's set in England. I'm like, okay, I'll see that eventually. And then 30 years later, I finally watched it.
How was Hear My Song?
Hear My Song was a charming movie about a guy who has this club. It's like a comedy or performance club, and it's in Ireland. Or no, it's in England. England, and then he needs to keep it afloat, and it's not doing well. Like, and people are not very trustworthy of him, and so he needs to draw. He wants to draw this famous singer named Joseph Locke to famous legend singer who did something really like he was like really well known, and then like he invaded the tax people and just disappeared one day. So he goes on his hunt to find him because he feels like this guy is going to bring all this business to this club, and of course this while doing this is kind of jeopardizes his ownership in the club and possibly a relationship that he's interested in with Tara Fitzgerald in this movie. So he goes on this quest to find Ned Beatty. And he's played up as this kind of kind of a very mythic character, and eventually it takes a long time to get there, but he eventually finds him. And it's not quite exactly what he expected. Before he actually finds him, he finds there's an impersonator who pretends to be him, and that kind of like almost ruins him. It's like a series of like misadventures kind of movie, but it's done in such a charming way, and the comedy is like, it's a very kind of Britishy, Irishy kind of comedy that really works for the story. And I found myself just like charmed by it, really. It was done by Peter Chelsom, who made a movie called Funny Bones. Do you remember that one?
I don't know that one.
That came out in the 90s but again, a comedy, like about a comedy guy. I think it was Oliver Platt and his and his dad, played by Jerry Lewis. It has some similarities actually to this one. He's done some good things over the years, and some not so good things. Looking at his his CV, but I think this is definitely a kind of a gem of like a early 90s like Miramax. This is a Miramax movie. It just kind of like lifted my spirits and made me feel good. And I like kind of those movies where it's like a journey, and like where it's very bumpy journey, like a lot of things don't quite go the way you expect them to go, and then it gets to a place, and then it kind of leaves you in a happy place, and I just like kind of like that journey.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it's a nice movie. It's nice to see a nice movie, and it was maybe a little bit over long. It was like 104 minutes. It could have been like a 90 something minute movie, but other than that, I really didn't have anything negative to say about it. I just kind of enjoyed its ride, and yeah,
sounds good.
I think where did I find that one? That was on like one of the streaming services or YouTube. I can't remember, but it's otherwise unavailable.
That's bad.
Because that's like
Miramax. It's like
yeah, a lot of the Miramax titles are kind of like little like I don't know. I think Paramount is putting them out like on some of them on Blu-ray, but like on the big ones. I think a lot of the smaller ones are getting a little lost in there.
Yeah, I didn't realize like because I have like a bunch of like Miramax movies, and then I saw recently that they're like releasing Cider House Rules on Blu-ray. Or Cold Mountain, or like things that I thought were on Blu-ray for a while, but
right.
I guess
they went out of circulation for some point, and then when because it's Disney owned Miramax at some point, and now Paramount owns the catalog, so they can choose to do whatever they want with it. Okay, yeah. So also on this day, Inner Circle came out, and Madame Bovary. And
I like that story. Is that a good version? Have you seen it?
I don't think I've seen this version. No, I don't think I've seen this one.
Gotcha.
But I remember it getting well reviewed at the time because it was Isabelle Huppert.
It is.
It was a Claude Chabrol film. So,
I might have to check this one out.
Yeah, might be. Cool. Yeah, Chabrol's pretty good. I saw a Cronenberg movie, but I didn't see this in theaters. I saw this movie, it was on VHS. Naked Lunch. It was like one of those. I
Yeah.
remember the cover was like typewriter and like typewriter for a face
Yeah.
thing on the box. So I'm like, okay, what is this weird movie directed by the guy who did The Fly?
Yeah.
And of course it's Naked Lunch. I hadn't read the book, so I've just heard of the title before. It was William S. Burroughs, of course. Naked Lunch, and Cronenberg is an adaptation of it, but kind of like an adaptation about I guess version of Burroughs, right? Peter Weller's playing a version of Burroughs. Judy Davis has a dual role in it. And she's kind of, when Judy Davis is on the screen, I watch. I'm captivated. It's got one of those movies that has like kind of like people pop up, like Roy Scheider pops up, and Ian Holm, and Julian Sands, and like a few other good people. It's it's icky because it's bugs for me.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of fascinated / scared of roaches. I think wasn't there another roach movie this year? Am I imagining that? Or the family were like roaches?
Oh, that was like Meet the Applegates.
Was that 1991? I'm like losing track of where I am.
Did we talk about this year? We might have. It's going way back.
That might be like January of 91.
You're right.
Is it as roachy as
it was
that
like
one?
February? Yeah, that was the road. Yeah, that was the bug family movie. Yep.
Is Naked Lunch as roachy?
It definitely has buggy, but it's also body, weird body horror.
Yeah,
David Cronenberg.
Yeah.
It has its weird moments. It has a lot of weird moments. I watched the Criterion DVD. I have the Criterion DVD. I got into it. It's not one of my favorite Cronenberg movies, but yeah, it was definitely an interesting watch. It's definitely a strange movie.
I feel like it's definitely a movie that was like in the video store a lot, like in the 90s. Or just like when the box was just very memorable.
I remember, definitely the video box. I don't know if I think it's one of those movies that's going to be off-putting for quite a few people, and so it's not going to appeal to a lot of people. But and I get that, but yeah, and to me, it doesn't quite gel. But I'm also not like I wasn't like a big Burroughs reader. I'm still. I mean, I do appreciate some of his work, but it's not my kind of go-to reading. But Cronenberg, she did a good job. Like Peter Weller and Judy Davis as the leads. They're good.
Yeah.
Of course, they were really good together. And a couple years after this, they did a movie together called The New Age, which
I haven't seen that.
I think you should watch that one.
Okay.
That's an interesting one. That's from the director of The Rapture.
Oh, okay. Which I liked.
Yeah. So it has another kind of weird vibe, but I like that one. Feels very LA, that one. Okay, moving on. Last couple movies here. Here's a TV spot. Well, there was one movie before this. Until the End of the World. the Wim Wenders movie.
Which I would like to see when I have the time.
When I have 27 hours to spare, I will watch Until the End of the World.
Would Joyce watch that with you?
No, I don't think so. She likes Wim Wenders. She likes, I think
I do too.
Like one of her favorites growing up, I think, was Wings of Desire, and I can totally see why. And he made really interesting movies and offbeat choices in Paris, Texas, and a few others.
I love Paris, Texas. Love it.
But I didn't want to watch this one because it's like so long.
I know. It's like I have Strays, I have Intimate Strangers to watch.
There's the theatrical version was maybe like 2.5 hours or something, but But I think the preferred version is a lot longer.
Yeah, that's the version on Criterion, I believe. It's the 5-hour.
There's many versions actually. There's 179 minute, let's say 158 minute version theaters. There was a 179 minute cut that was on Laserdisc, Japanese Laserdisc. It was 300. The director's preferred cut is 300 minutes.
Okay.
And then after that, I think there was even another version. There was another fourth version, 287 minutes. I mean, come on, we're getting to like 4-hour movies.
Wow.
Over 4-hour movies, 5-hour movies. I just no. I think the Criterion has I don't know, a couple versions, but
yeah, I think they do.
I can't. not right now. Maybe maybe at the end of the world I'll watch it. So I guess the last movie here is the TV spot.
The Prince of Tides, winner of 7 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Nick Nolte, Best Supporting Actress, Kate Nelligan, and Best Screenplay. Barbara Streisand, Directors Guild of America nominee for Best Director, the one Golden Globe winner hailed as far and away the best movie of the year. The Prince of Tides, the one you will always remember. Rated R at theaters now.
Okay, that's The Prince of Tides. Gonna end on a fun note.
Yeah.
I saw this in the theater.
Is this our last film of the year?
I think it's the last. Yeah, the last.
Wow.
That's it. I like this movie when I saw it in the theater. Again, it was that movie the day I saw like JFK and Grand Canyon for second time because I like Grand Canyon so much in theater. It was like it was absorbing. It was really absorbing and really dramatic, but
oh yeah,
but really well done. And of course performed. I think Nick Nolte was really good in it, and I mean Kate Nelligan's really good in this movie. His mom, and of course Barbara Streisand.
Oh my gosh, what do we say?
A force to be reckoned with. She is, yeah. I mean, have you listened to the commentary track on this one yet?
You know what? That part of my life is still missing. Like I need to do that.
You really need to listen to the commentary track. She points out a lot of things. And it's kind of it's very I think she takes notes. She took notes while doing this. Like
I love that.
It's very prepared.
Wait. I did listen to this. It's coming back to me. Yes. I think I had like a moment where I just had to like press pause and just like it was so good.
It's so good. You don't realize like how much input she has as a filmmaker until you listen to that track. It's like she like every little detail. I was like
everything.
It's something that she like kind of did. Like she was like responsible for. And, she's known for like not definitely taking control of the wheel, like firing DPs and like not being happy with things and like just getting what you want. But that's what a good filmmaker does, right? Really responsible for the ship and we'll go down with the ship, but we'll make sure that the ship is hers, right? And I really respect that her as a filmmaker and those decisions that she made, because I think they're really well done here. The attention to detail is pretty spectacular and just beautifully made, really. I mean, what more can I say? It's a Prince of Tides. It's like just very well done movie.
It's a pretty ambitious movie too, like considering the subject matter. And this was like such an event film. Like I just remember everyone going to see The Prince of Tides, and I remember like the movie tie-in paperback like being everywhere. It's so interesting to think about now.
I know, like this is like the movie that audiences flock to. It's like, whoa,
yeah,
some heavy duty stuff, man.
Yes.
But we did, and we did as a family. So it's like what you did.
Wow.
91. You went to see the Prince of Tides. Yeah, so well done. I mean, is it weird? I mean, it got a lot of Oscar nominations, but of course she wasn't nominated, which is kind of crazy to think.
That was like super controversial, I remember
Yeah.
at the time. I think this was the first Oscars I watched, and it was an incredible ceremony
Yeah.
between like the Silence of the Lambs and Barbara Streisand being mad about not being nominated.
Mhm.
It was just great. I think I was telling you about the Debbie Allen dances to the original score nominees.
That's right.
So they'd have like these like choreographed dance moves to like the JFK music. It was so good.
It's amazing.
So great.
It's definitely a great film. All right, that was 91.
Wow.
We
Did you
made
say
it.
you have lists of
I have
other-
lots of lists. We'll read off. I'm going to read off lists from people who wanted to do their lists, and then we'll end with our 2 lists.
Okay.
All right. So let's see what we got. Simon of Meat Hook Cinema. Number 1, Silence of the Lambs. 2, Hearts of Darkness. 3, My Own Private Idaho. 4, Cape Fear. Number 5, Double Life of Veronique. 6, V.I. Warshawski. Yay, V.I. Warshawski getting some love. 7, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Number 8, Suburban Commando. Number 9, American Ninja 4, The Annihilation. Number 10, La Femme Nikita. Bubbling Under, Guilty by Suspicion, Drop Dead Fred, Madonna Truth or Dare, Hudson Hawk, yes, really. The Prince of Tides, 2 Evil Eyes, and The People Under the Stairs. Daniel Archer, my pal Daniel Archer. In no order, LA Story, The Silence of the Lambs, My Own Private Idaho, Horror, Mortal Thoughts, Poison, Vegas in Space, and The Rapture. Sue Shippers, some really fun movies from 1981. My 10 are as follows. Number 10, The Naked Gun 2.5. Number 9, Dolly Dearest. 8, FX2. 7, Mystery Date. 6, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. 5, Child's Play 3. 4, Terminator 2. 3, The People Under the Stairs. 2, Popcorn. And the best movie in 1981 is hands down Mannequin 2 on the Move.
Oh my God, that's such a great list.
Such a great list. Love it. Our Alishan, our pal, our Alishan, Alligator 2, The Mutation, The Boneyard, Child's Play 3, Diary of a Hitman, Dolly Dearest, Double Impact, Dutch, Edge of Honor, FX2, Grand Tour, Disaster in Time, The Last Boy Scout, Mind Warp, The People Under the Stairs, Run, Scary Movie, Stone Cold, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Time Bomb, and Toy Soldiers. Really enjoyed this series of episodes, fellas. Looking forward to 92.
Yay.
Yay. People on the Stairs getting a few mentions already. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Michael Charles Williams. What About Bob? My Own Private Idaho. Boys in the Hood. The Fisher King. Hudson Hawk. My Girl. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Nothing But Trouble. Ski School. Point Break in New Jack City. Rafaela.
I did love Point Break. I missed that episode with you, but that was a good one for sure.
Yeah. Rafaela Arnaldi. The Silence of the Lambs, The Addams Family, The Fisher King, What About Bob, and Thelma and Louise. Ali Latman. This was a very tough one. My honorable mentions list is ridiculous, I know, and I even cut out a couple. Top 11, more or less in order. Beauty and the Beast, Prince of Tides, Fried Green Tomatoes, Thelma and Louise, Jungle Fever, Boys in the Hood, Sleep with the Enemy, City Slickers, Bugsy, The Rocketeer, Soap Dish. I don't care if these movies are good or bad, probably bad, but I will love them forever and ever. And that are Hook, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Honorable mentions going to Defending Your Life, Silence of the Lambs, Terminator 2, JFK, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, The Commitments, Doc Hollywood, Man the Moon, He Said, She Said, and Queen's Logic. Okay,
Yeah, Queen's Logic was like a nice hidden gem that I
that's
discovered
right.
this year.
Vintage video podcast, The Dark Backward, Drop Dead Fred, Five Goes West, Ghoulies Go to College, Hook, Hudson Hawk, The Last Boy Scout, Reservoir Dogs, Ricky O, The Story of Ricky, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, Anthony King, Backdraft, Silence of the Lambs, Terminator 2, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Oscar, James Bench, Bugsy, Frankie and Johnny, Grand Canyon, LA Story, Prince of Tides, Madonna's Truth or Dare, Scissors, Soap Dish, The Taking of Beverly Hills, Point Break. I really enjoyed the series. Thank you, James. Leo Logan wrote in. Father of the Bride, City Slickers, Doc Hollywood, Cape Fear, Dead Again, The Rocketeer, and My Girl, and JFK. Demetrios Patsiaris, Thelma and Louise, Point Break, The Doors, New Jack City, Boys in the Hood, Terminator 2, The Silence of the Lambs, JFK, Cape Fear, Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Honorable mention to Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Okay, Kaja Gugu Man on Instagram. That's my pal Eric of the Story Continues podcast. Shattered.
Cool.
Yeah. Shattered, Star Trek 6. See, I'm in trouble because I just totally dissed Star Trek 6 this episode, and I like some people love it. Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. I know nothing, guys. I know nothing. There's Nothing Out There, and Silence of the Lambs. The Mike Justice, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Slasher Disc wrote in 29th Street, Career Opportunities, Dutch, Mannequin 2. Okay. Fairhead wrote in number 10, Defending Your Life. Wasn't Rip Torn an anchor for this movie? Love him. Number 9, LA Story. I always feel like this was an indie film at its heart. 8, The Addams Family. Sets and costumes were a chef's kiss. 7, Sleeping with the Enemy. The ending always surprises me. 6, Madonna Truth or Dare. 5, What About Bob? A laugh riot from beginning to end. 4, Cape Fear. De Niro was so frightening. Number 3, My Own Private Idaho. 2, Terminator 2, action movie with heart and jokes. Number 1, Silence of the Lambs, iconic. I Am Bukowski Babe wrote in The Rapture, Madonna Truth or Dare, and LA Story. Decree wrote in T2, JFK, Dogfight, Beauty and the Beast, and Point Break. Jimmy Kiss Kiss wrote in Scenes from a Mall. And then Greggy Ta, Fisher King, JFK, Popcorn, and Ricochet. Okay, lastly, Quentin Dunn wrote in honorable mentions: The Double Life of Veronique, Boys in the Hood, The Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear, Frankie and Johnny, and The Rocketeer. It's entirely possible that any one or all of these movies could have cracked the top 10. But it's been so long since I've seen them that they're simply not that fresh in my memory. Okay, his number 10 is JFK. The plot is such preposterous conspiratorial nonsense that it could have been written by Tucker Carlson, but the stunning skill of the filmmaking more than compensates. 9, LA Story. 8, City of Hope. 7, The Silence of the Lambs. 6, The Prince of Tides. This movie should have ended about 20 minutes before it does, when Barbara Streisand's psychiatrist character breaks every rule in the book by starting a romance and sexual relationship with Nick Nolte's character. Oh well, it's still a great movie. Also, Nolte should have won the Best Actor Oscar over Anthony Hopkins for his 14 minutes of screen time and Sounds of the Force. Yeah, I get it. 5, Beauty and the Beast. 4, City Slickers. 3, The Indian Runner. 2, Thelma and Louise. Saw this in the theater opening weekend before there was so much cultural chatter about it. So I had no idea what to expect and was absolutely knocked out by it.
That's
Number
amazing.
1, Number 1, What About Bob? Saw this in the theater as well and laughed so hard. What a fun and funny movie. It stood the test of time well. Special mention, Harley Davidson, The Marble Man. Possibly one of the dumbest movies ever made, but I probably watched it 20 times back in the VHS days. So clearly was doing something right. Just thinking about it makes me kind of sort of want to rewatch it. Thank you so much, Quentin. Thank you so much, everyone who provided lists today. They're pretty amazing.
Oh, good. Yeah, I loved it.
We always love hearing lists on the show. I think they're just fun to see what else everyone's into. All right, let's hear your 10.
Okay.
It's all come down to this. No, it doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't all come down to this, but it does.
I know, right?
All right,
10 is Jungle Fever.
Mm-hmm.
9 is Bugsy. 8 is Life is Sweet. 7 is Boys in the Hood. 6, My Own Private Idaho. 5 is Paris is Burning. 4 is Dogfight. 3 is Strangers in Good Company. 2 is An Angel at My Table. And 1 is The Silence of the Lambs.
Great. Love it. I'm going mostly comedy with my list.
I'm excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies I could put in my top 10 list. Come on, let's be real. Okay, number 10, I'm doing a Jill Schoelen double feature. That's Rich Girl and Popcorn.
Of course.
Really enjoy those. Number 9, LA Story.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Don't Tell Mom, The Babysitter's Dead. Still one of the best 80s teen comedies made in the 90s. Number 7, Mannequin 2 on the Move. Definitely one of my most watched movies of the year. Number 6, What About Bob? Another one that I watch a lot. Number 5, Point Break, because Point Break.
Fabulous.
Number 4, Defending Your Life. Gotta get a little classy, but holds up so well. Number 3, Soap Dish. I think it's got to be up there with the most watched, 91.
That's so lovely.
It's probably the most watched. Number 2, Switch. Blake Edwards Switch.
Oh, yep.
Watch it tons. My number 1. Can you guess? No. Okay.
Last Boy Scout.
Tony Scott's the Last Boy Scout.
Scissors.
Star Trek 6. Sorry. I went with The Rapture.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because that movie just blew me away when I was a kid. And, it doesn't quite blow me away now, but it's still kind of like, whoa, I took so many chances. And Mimi Rogers is so good in it. And I think it's so unique. And so I'm into it. That's my top 10. I'm sticking to it.
Awesome.
But yeah, again, could have been like I could have put in Cool as Ice, so it's really upset some people. I could have put in
I mean,
I could have put in Ken Russell's Whore. I could have put in easily put in Rambling Rose, because I love that movie, and The Fisher King, which I thought was even better now than ever.
Yes. Me too.
So many others, but I just I went a lot of movies that I rewatch a lot. So that was those 10 definitely, or 11 really, but I watched a ton.
Such a good year. I'm so happy to share it with you.
Thank you. It's been I feel like we've definitely we've come full circle. We're done, but it feels rewarding.
It does. I feel like so smart now that I've seen all these films.
Yes, I agree. I don't know if we're coming back for 92, but we'll think about it. We have the holidays to talk about it. Guys, thank you so much for supporting the show. Again, you can always sign up for our Patreon, Retro Movie, patreon.com /Retro Movie Love. What you do there is you basically sign up, you pledge $1 a month, and that's it. And you're supporting Retro Movie Love. Thank you all, you guys, for doing that. And just giving your list and just listening to the show and just talking movies all these years. It's this is our I think I talked about a little bit on the Blu-ray podcast. This is our 8th year. November marked the 8th year of Retro Movie Love. So,
oh, that's awesome.
It warms the heart that you guys are setting lists and still caring, and so all those years later, thank you. And thank you so much for being a part of this 91 series. Jeffrey.
It was great. Thank you. I enjoyed it. Thanks so much.
We'll be back for, if it's not 92, we'll be back for something else for sure. So look out for that. And then I'll be recording a Patreon episode really soon. It's going to be really fun. Look out for that. So if you don't have Patreon, sign up now. Thank you everyone again, and check out the podcast. I'm only right now, Retro Movie Love has a page on Facebook, but I don't really do a lot there. Instagram, look up Cinnamon to Meep on Instagram. You'll see all the movies that I get and talk about, and it's the place to be. How about you? Where can people find you on the internet?
I'm at jdbrecords on all the different things. Starting to write more reviews, which is good, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta express your thoughts about film and like new film. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
Trying.
Thank you again, and we'll be back for something else. We'll see what it is.
Bye.
Enjoy your holidays, guys, whatever they are. Hopefully you'll survive them. Like that's the very least I expect, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully your holidays will be as cool as ice. Take care, guys. Ciao for now.
Hold on, little girl. Show me what he's done to you. Stand up, little girl. A broken heart can't be that bad when it's through. It's through. Fate would twist of both of you. So come on, baby, come on over. Let me be the one to show you. I'm the one who wants to be with you. Deep inside, I hope you'll feel it too. Feel it too. Waited on a line of waited on a line just to be the next to be with you. Build up your confidence so you can be on top for once. Wake up, who cares about little boy that talk too much? I've seen it all go down. The game of love was all rained down. So come on, baby, come on over. Let me be the one to hold. I'm the one who wants to be with you. Deep inside, I hope you'll feel it too. Feel it too. Waited on a line up. Waited on a line. Yeah, just to be the next to be with you.
Do you know how many poor animals they had to kill to make that coat? You know how many rich animals I had to fuck to get this coat?